character tonight. I think that's, you need to see a win. I think that the cards are laying out nicely for the Maple Leafs to win this one, as we said, not on a back-to-back and against a team a little lower in the standings with a goaltender that's fresh off injury. But it's character. That's what I think Maple Leafs fans will feel the most encouraged about besides a win, right? Let's see your top guys come out and control this game, just like they did in the second period of the Boston Bruins game where, was it second or third? It doesn't matter. It was when Marner and Matthews scored a minute and 3 seconds apart, right? It was, okay, time to get back into this game. You have some of the top talent in the entire National Hockey League on your team. You have the opportunity to flip the game on a script, but don't wait till the second period to do that. Come out and get the first goal of the game tonight. Be the most dominant, the most physical team, and show that you learned something against that Boston Bruins team. Yeah,
I think it's one of these prove-it games. Not to say Buffalo is a team where you can really, tell the hockey world that you're different. This is a team on the second half of a back-to-back that you are still, despite them being sexy-ish, a team you're supposed to beat. But the Maple Leafs want to make the headlines a little bit more positive after they were and have been mostly negative. But this is the time of year where the Maple Leafs start to turn things around. Winning games in November, generally not an issue for this team. They've had really, really rough Octobers, and this one wasn't as rough, but there were still some issues with it. But in November, it's almost as though they erase everything that happened the month previous, at least under Sheldon Keefe. That's been the case. They're generally a team that figures it out a couple weeks into the season. We'll see if they can do that with, a new regime, new players, maybe some new system items, certainly new power play coaches, penalty kill. But this is when the Leafs start to figure things out. And if they have a great November, we won't be talking about toughness in October very much longer.
Yeah, this is the start of a 5-game homestand for them. So comfortability, getting back into your groove. They just went on that long 5-game away trip. And I think that maybe took away from some of the, chemistry when they came home for that one game and they were tired and they lost LA Kings and they went back on the road. Okay, so 5 games at home is as sweet as it is. The sweet home cooking. You're here, you're comfortable, you're in your own arena, you got your routine back. What a way to start it off with a bang. We have a couple of minutes before we take a break and tee up the game on the other side. They just finished warm-ups here at Scotiabank Arena. Do we see anything different in the lines that we would have expected from Thursday night?
No, I mean, the Liljegren injury does necessitate change, but nothing in terms of change in the forward groups. The top line will be Calle Järnkrok, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. Second line, I guess there is some change with Bertuzzi playing with Tavares and Nylander, but we did expect that. The third line is the one that's a little bit inconsistent with Nyes, Kampf, and Domi, and then the fourth line is Gregor, Holmberg, and Reeves. But on the back end, it will be Riley Brody, it will be Giordano and Klingberg, and it'll be William Lagesson and Max Lajoie on the third period. So a couple guys on the third pairing, So a couple guys that have had some experience at the American Hockey League level. A couple of guys who have no experience playing together for the Toronto Maple Leafs, aside from maybe some preseason action. And of course, Joseph Woll will be in net with Ilya Samsonov backing up. So all eyes will be on that third pairing. William Lagesson's been pretty good. Can he be as good with Max Lajoie as his partner? We're going to find out.
Any relation to Roger Lajoie?
I hope so. I really hope so.
Sportsnet 590, the fan legend.
Our team will get on that.
Can we get a family tree? Producer Armin, can we get a family tree with Roger Lajoie and Max Lajoie, please? Map that out. Maybe that's good. That's good. It's good vibes for the Leafs. You got a legend, maybe sharing a last name. All right. We're just about a minute away before we take a break here before the Maple Leafs host the Buffalo Sabres. It's crazy in here, loud at least. I think I like playing the Buffalo Sabres because there's some fans that are Toronto fans that love the Buffalo Sabres, right? Like I have a couple friends that are Sabres fans that live in the city because it was easier. Like they lived in like Burlington or Hamilton and they were Sabres fans. So there's a lot of rivalry in this building tonight.
I mean, you got to be a rich Buffalonian. Is it a Buffalonian to go to the game in Toronto when you could go to the game when Toronto comes to you?
You're not a Buffaloite.
I don't think you are. There are going to be a couple of Sabres fans in this.
There's a couple. I see them right now.
But usually it's Toronto fans going there. I don't know if it's as hot the other way around, but I guess we'll find out if and when the Buffalo Sabres can score tonight.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back to continue setting up the Leafs and the Sabres here at Scotiabank Arena on Hockey Night in Canada. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move them day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Here's something to chew on. Great Canadian Meat's original beef jerky. It is really great. Locally handcrafted, 100% Canadian. It's the portable protein energy you can take anywhere. And it comes in 5 mouth-watering flavors: teriyaki, barbecue, Kentucky bourbon, sweet heat, and if you like it hot and spicy, hot and spicy. Power up and eat some energy. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
Well, if it isn't my favorite advisor, just wanted to thank you for your excellent service.
Ah, you're too kind. But I'm the one who should be thanking you.
No, it's definitely me.
Well, thanks.
Hold on. I want to thank you.
Oh, stop. You're too much.
Hey, pros, to say thank you, your Rona Plus, and Lowe's stores are celebrating Provember. Come by and enjoy tons of promos and in-store events, now until November 29th.
Did you receive a Canada Emergency Business Account loan and want to take advantage of up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness, but might struggle to meet the January 2024 repayment deadline? The Merchant Growth SEBA Refinance Program is the solution. With financing for Merchant Growth, eligible SEBA applicants can pay off their balance by qualifying in minutes. Refinance your SEBA loan balance now to unlock up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness. Apply today at sebarefi.ca. That's CEBAREFI.ca.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult or time-consuming? Then it's time to try Babbel. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. So with just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking in a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel, language for life. Right now, Babbel is offering radio listeners 55% off their subscription. Visit babbel.com/radio. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 55% off.
While furnace breakdowns are unexpected, you can expect Reliance Home Comfort to fix it fast. We're here to take your call 24/7. And if you need a new one, pay no interest for 1 year on a featured furnace. That's right. That's 12 equal monthly payments interest-free. Looking to improve your home's energy efficiency? Upgrade to a heat pump system, and you may be eligible for up to $7,100 in government rebates and energy audits. So for an unexpected furnace breakdown, call on Reliance. Financing OAC for a 12-month term with no interest accruing. Conditions apply. See website for details.
When it comes to tough.
The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Network.
Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. And a bit of a shout-out. Montreal Alouettes eliminate the Hamilton Tiger Cats today. And next Saturday, the Eastern Final between the Toronto Argonauts and the Montreal Alouettes. And the winners headed to the Grey Cup, which ironically will be in Hamilton. Played along the boards and out past Power down into the Buffalo zone. Yokiharu will play it out into neutral ice. That got by everybody, but was touched. Apparently, Wall, I think, thought it was an icing. But it's played by the Leafs to center ice. No damage done. Darlene firing the puck, and it went off a stick and went roaring over top of the Leaf bench. We can't see if there's been any damage to any of the spectators in behind as the score clock is blocking our view, but that was a rocket.
Everybody bail out right on the Leaf bench, but it sailed up over the glass.
First period presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary to Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Long shoot in. Wall is going to cover up on it. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone.
The Buffalo Sabres. This is an NHL high. 12 straight seasons without a playoff appearance for the Buffalo Sabres. The next highest active streak is the Detroit Red Wings. They're at 7 seasons without the playoffs.
They did pretty well before that, though, didn't they?
25 straight. They made it, yeah.
Leafs get it down into the offensive zone, chipped along the boards by Lagesson, but it'll be played over on the right wing side, and out at center ice it comes. Lagesson and Lajoie are the defense tandem on the third pair. Lagesson back of his goal, steps out with a pass to Morgan Riley, who was in the middle of a change. Riley has difficulty, kept alive by Thompson. Played around back of the net, but unable to get to it was Jeff Skinner. Now Skinner back of the net for Tuck, centered in front. Whoa, and Thompson was coming down the chute, and he just failed to get his stick on it. Eric Johnson plays it out at center. Tag. Thompson couldn't get free from the checking of Austin Matthews. And now here is Alex Tuck turning in his own zone. Brings it to center. Got it up on the left wing. Backhanded. That must have hit the linesman because play wasn't whistled down, and it really came off at a strange angle, but the Leafs now shoot it back down into the Buffalo zone. Stealing it on the centering pass in front, and unable to get to it in time was Domi. Off a stick. Nyes couldn't come up with it. Played to the blue line and offside, says the linesmen, who are Tyson Baker and Jonathan Deschamps. Pierre Lambert and Ghislain Hebert are the referees. No score. 9:02 to play first period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Holy mackerel, what a move!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Doug Gilmour in attendance, and that harkens back to what we were talking about. The initial response to a dirty hit.
Marty McSorley on Gilmour.
And Wendell filled him in.
Well, there aren't a lot of Wendells in the league.
No.
Period.
No.
Let alone in Toronto.
And there aren't a lot of guys like Wendell that play on the first line.
No.
Here's a chance for Nylander as he carries the puck into the zone, dropped it back to the blue line, and then a pass that was intended for Nylander was intercepted, and the Sabres get it back into the Leaf end. Giordano finds Tavares. Tavares got it in over the line, but Bertuzzi couldn't help him out. And the Sabres have it in their own zone. Deflected down into the Leaf end. Wall, leaving it back at the net. And he got his signals crossed there with Giordano a little bit, but the Leafs are stretching things out as both teams are changing.
That's a respect, though, to the oldest player in the league, Mark Giordano. Wall went back and moved it another 4 feet to get it closer to him.
Shot down the ice now by the Leafs on an errant pass, and there's going to be a icing call, and it'll be brought back into the Leaf end. 5-game homestand for the Maple Leafs, and then they head to Europe. 2 road games, Minnesota and Detroit. On to the right in the Toronto zone. No score. Tage Thompson got it back to the point, but it's intercepted by the Leafs and springing it ahead. Marner's in alone. Score! Mitch Marner got behind the defense, and boom, it's 1-0.
With a great pickoff by Morgan Riley in the Leaf zone. Riley picked off a pass, found Yarncrook, who looked up and saw Marner had taken off, and hits Marner right in the middle of the ice at the Buffalo blue line. In behind the defense, Marner walks in and snaps it glove side as he waits for Levi to commit, and as soon as Levi drops to the butterfly, Marner goes high over his left shoulder, and the Leafs have opened the scoring.
For the first time
at home
on home ice. Here's a loose puck stolen by the Leafs, played back by Reeves to the point, shot coming, that deflected just wide. Camp playing it in front of the net, had it knocked back. Interesting that David Camp, one change in the lineup, forwards-wise, is playing on the 4th line. And Holmberg is centering the 3rd line. Sabres get it down into the Toronto end. Poked into the far corner. After it goes Krebs. Couldn't come up with it. And Brody turns for the Maple Leafs. Brody to center. Holmberg across the line with Nyes. Holmberg centers. That was blocked by the goaltender, Levi. Puck in the far corner for Domi. Domi sends it in front of the net. Levi had to stop that. Again to Domi. Had his stick shatter as he tried to get the shot away. Sabres will play it down into the Toronto end. Played along the boards. Riley taking his time as he comes out. Got it ahead. Domi takes a pass on the right wing. Tried to flip it in there, but it was knocked into the corner, and then Pontus Holmberg couldn't come up with it. Jokiharju, the official, trying to do some house cleaning with all of the debris on the ice, and now an errant pass turns into an icing against Buffalo. It'll come back. Mitch Marner with his 4th goal of the season and 10th point.
And reads the play perfectly, but you're going to go back to Morgan Riley. And Riley had come into the game, held pointless in the previous 3 after having back-to-back games where he had a goal and an assist. And Morgan Riley really, to me, has picked up where he left off from last year's playoffs, where he has been the rock back on the Leaf blue line.
Here's Nylander on the left wing. A pass in. And Bertuzzi. Dangerous spot, but he mishandled the pass, and there went the scoring opportunity. And that's really been him, isn't it? He's had chances, and then you just rolls off his stick, or
a little hesitation.
Yes, exactly. Sabres to center, will flip it in over the line, and Giordano getting it back ahead to an open wing. It's brought in by Järnkrok.
Oh, they're going to call too many men on the ice or early substitution. Leafs might get away. Oh, they are going to get called for too many men.
Wow.
It was Järnkrok jumped on and took off, but both skates of the player he was replacing were just on the ice in front of the Leaf bench, and the Leafs will pay for it.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Tulip continues to impress. This is a good-looking offense. I'm always jealous that I'm not a part of it.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
A.J. Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone in the ballpark know he's getting the ball, and you still can't stop him.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes joins us.
We'll continue to get better and better as an offense.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
Radio Network.
Too many men on the ice. Third time this season the Maple Leafs have had a too many men on the ice call. Sabres with the power play, and have just had a forward waved out. Middlestat will lead. Marner from Järnkrok and Riley. The scoring play as the Leafs win the draw, and it is rifled out and down the ice.
Buffalo 3 for 32 on the power play this season. 0 for 9 in the 4 games coming into this one.
Brought through center by Dahlin. Left into the left wing corner. Middlestat had the puck knocked away. Giordano able to free it up. Marner starts out of his own end, and he's just going to launch it down into the Buffalo zone and go for a change. Minute 28 in the power play, 4:47 left in the first period, 1-0 Toronto. Tage Thompson gets it in over the line. Pass into the slot, comes back to the blue line. Skinner with a pass into the goal crease, coming across nicely and making the save is Wall.
Well, Jeff Skinner tried to put it to Casey Middlestad, who was backdoor on Wall, went off his skate, and then right back to Skinner again on his tape, who was 5 feet in front of the Leaf goaltender, but Wall fortunately was able to pick it up and get to his left to seal it off.
Going to the left of the Leaf goaltender. Minute 11 left in the power play. Leafs win the face-off, and it's hammered around the boards and down the ice. Nyes is up forechecking. Forces the puck into the near corner and stole it. Got it back and along, looking for Camp, but it is pushed back into the far corner, and it's taking the Sabres some time to reorganize. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Brought in over the line finally by Buffalo. Fed to the left wing side. It'll come back to the point. Near side now for Owen Power. Power, high slot. Right wing side, and a one-timer whistled wide of the net by Olofsson. Power with it again. Holds, dishes off on the left wing. A shot, scores. Middlestad off the left wing side. Or check that, Peterka off the left wing side. 77, not 37. And the Sabres score on the power play, and it's 1-0, or 1-1 rather.
Well, Oposo standing right in front of Joseph Wall, and as the shot was being taken, Wall glances to the left of Oposo, and the shot goes short side right. Kind of a double screen as TJ Brody was out high as well. So he had Brody, Oposo directly in front of Joseph Wall, and the shot finds a place to sneak in just inside the post to the right of the Leaf goaltender.
Leafs get it back down into the Buffalo zone. Look out! Stepping up with a pretty good hit there was Lagesson.
That'll teach Brad Marchand.
Yeah, Girgensson was coming out with his head down, and Lagesson stepped right into him. Backhand stopped by Wall, but the rebound, Wall stopped that as well. Back to the point, another shot, and that went wide of the Leaf net. Don't think anybody's looking for a great deal other than if you have the opportunity, step into someone, right? Lagesson certainly did that. And with all of the injuries on the Leaf defense, little things like that become rather noticeable. Reeves unable to get the puck in front of the net, but then stole it to keep it in. Round the boards to the near side. Sabres will finally punch it out into neutral ice. A pass for Alex Tuck in on the right side, and the shot is gloved by Wall, and he's going to hold on. 2:31 left to play in the period, a 1-1 tie.
Like we said, the stat splits for Joseph Wall in his career: 10-1 on the road, 1.94 goals against average, 939 save percentage. Overall, 2-3 at home, 287 at home, 908 save percentage. By the way, the goal by the point by Mitch Marner moves him ahead of Bob Pulford for the sole possession of 8th place in Leaf scoring history. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Didn't take long.
Oh. Thanks to Armin for that.
Sabres in their own zone, get it up on the left wing. And then a right wing pass brought in by Middlestad. Middlestad plays to the open left wing corner. Sabres get there. Nyes couldn't help out. Centering pass, and Wall did well just to duck to get out of the way. Sabres keep the puck in. But now both teams trying to get a change organized. Riley starts out on the left wing. Got it to center. Just dumps it in.
Leafs really haven't had a whole lot since Marner's goal, have they? Possession-wise or scoring chances?
Well, power play was outstanding, but didn't score. Now Tavares taken down from behind. Bertuzzi got into the slot, and a wrist shot is deflected just in front of Levi and ends up going up into the screen, out of play.
seemed like the Marner goal was actually sort of a continuation. The penalty Tage Thompson took was at 5:14. Marner's goal was at 12:05, and by the way, another too many men on the ice penalty ends up costing you. Love to see the stat on that. How many times those penalties come back to bite you?
Brody playing it around back of the net for Tavares. Tried to get it up on the wing, and the Sabres do. Thompson, 2-center, 2-on-1 break. Thompson in with a drag move, and then the shot went off wall, I believe, and up into the screen, out of play.
Now, I know this is a difficult play. You find Joseph Walls having a little trouble tracking the puck tonight, but a number of times where it seems like he's not quite sure where it's going to go.
He tracked that one pretty well. Thompson made a great move to have Brody slide by him, and then got over and snapped that, and off the blocker glove it went up into the screen. Chipped along the boards. Sabres try to center, get it back again. Thompson will steer it around back of the net. The Leafs have it there with Klingberg sending it around on the wall, but kept in at the point. It goes back of the net. Tuck couldn't come up with it. Klingberg on the wing for Marner. Marner upended. Penalty coming to Buffalo.
That was a bit of a delay. You ever do that when the first thing you do is you look at the near official to the play. The arm doesn't go up, so now then you look to the other guy. And by the time you look back, the first guy has finally put his arm up. So the Leafs, with 34.2 seconds to go in the opening period, will go to their second power play.
Now here's the thing that we were talking about.
And it's Tage Thompson again.
Like to see things change in the National Hockey League, and we've talked about this.
The face-off.
Face-offs to start the second period, if the Leafs don't score in the next 34.2 seconds, should be down in the Buffalo zone, not at center ice.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on it.
Are you?
I kind of like the traditional opening face-off.
Klingberg keeping the puck in at the blue line. Nylander to Tavares. Shot, stopped, rebound. Marner tried to set up Matthews for an empty netter. It didn't work. Nylander again. Down low, Marner in front of the goal. Shot went wide of the net by Matthews to Klingberg. Instead of shooting, he tried to find Nylander, and it didn't work. Nylander at the point. Down low, a centering pass again. Doesn't work from Marner. 1 second left. Teams will go to the dressing room tied at a goal.
Well, Marner opened the scoring, but it was the too many men on the ice penalty that cost the Leafs. Well, did you not think even the first 36 seconds of this power play, the Leafs have looked pretty good with the man advantage, and we'll see if they can carry that into the second period. 1:26 will be left in the penalty to Tage Thompson, and for the Leafs to try to regain the lead.
Marner from Yarncrook and Riley. Peterka from Power and Krebs. 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. Eilish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Work through your day with a mosaic of relaxing pop.
Hold on for one more day.
To keep you moving forward.
I want it that way.
Or melt away the stress. With SiriusXM Mosaic.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song.
90s and 2000s pop on Channel 15 and in the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The one thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Dave Thompson got it back to the point, but it's intercepted by the Leafs and springing it ahead. Marner's in alone. Score! Mitch Marner got behind the defense, and boom, it's 1-0.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar alongside Justin Cuthbert as the Maple Leafs head into the first intermission with a 1-1 tie after 20 minutes. I don't know if it's a completely different Maple Leafs team, but we saw a little bit of jump, and first one's on the score sheet always helps.
Yeah, definitely getting on the score sheet, first helps. And it was an unbelievable pass from Calle Järnkrok. Like, I don't know if that was a 1A pass. I don't care who's dishing it. That was a brilliant feed from Calle Järnkrok. It might be his best offensive moment of the entire season. That's how good that pass was onto the stick of Mitch Marner, who seems to be enjoying scoring just as much as normal, but is very fired up when he scores this year and was just the same.
Pretty intense celebration.
Yeah, but that's been the norm for him.
No, I think
he's upped his celebration game from last year.
No, I think this man went a lot. I mean, we've had a lot of discussions over the last little while about Marner. Where's Marner? Is Marner meshing with Matthews? Well, it was the William Nylander and the William Nylander and Austin Matthews start to the season, right? Back-to-back hat-tricks for Austin Matthews. William Nylander's on a career point streak, a franchise point streak, and where's Mitch Marner on this? And John Tavares was a point-per-game guy as well, so maybe that meant a little bit extra to Mitch Marner. He really got down there and sellied hard, it's like his first goal of the season, even though it's his fourth. So happy to see that. Very fired up, beautiful pass from Calle Järnkrok, who we've kind of debated if he deserves or if he's just the easy fit for the top line.
Yeah, we can talk about Calle Järnkrok being top line until we're blue in the face, but that sort of thing will help because I get the defensive part of it. If he can be a stabilizer defensively, if you can never worry about giving up some while that line is out, because Mitch Marner is Selke caliber and Austin Matthews is Selke caliber, and Calle Järnkrok is as defensively responsible as they come. then great. But are you taking something away? And at least through 20 minutes tonight, you're certainly not taking something away. In fact, you're getting something from Calle Järnkrok being up there offensively, because that's a pass not everyone on this team can make, and maybe not the type of pass the other forward who might be flanking those two could make in that moment. It was a great feed, and that'll make it feel a little bit better that he's up there when it's maybe not the most natural fit.
So Maple Leafs took a 1-0 lead, quickly tied up though by the Buffalo Sabres as J.J. Peterka scored on the power play. It was a beautiful screen, really nice point shot from J.J., but I can't handle the too many men penalties. This is the third one for the Maple Leafs, 11 games into the season, the most in the NHL. I mean, I played tyke hockey, and you learn how to count how many people are on the ice that early on.
Oh, you had it down in tyke?
I could count in tyke. I can still count now as a broadcaster, but folks, it's not that hard. I don't know why the Maple Leafs are leading the league in too many men on the ice penalties. It's such a simple thing, and it's the blender at work sometimes doesn't work for counting and knowing the count. Oh, wait, are you on? Am I on? Who'd you point to? Oh, now there's too many people on the ice. They score on the too many men on the ice penalty, and it's the third one of the Leafs season. It's just come on. It's easy to fix.
I feel like you're setting me up to direct more ire at Sheldon Keefe, because I've been pretty outspoken today about how Sheldon Keefe's had maybe a difficult start in some respects, and I'm sure he has a hand in the too many men, because it is a bench minor, and therefore he has to wear some culpability, but I don't have an answer for why it's happening.
What's the worst penalty in too many men?
It's the worst penalty. It's definitely the worst penalty in terms of zapping momentum. It is a killer every time it happens.
Offensive zone
and it was a killer
too.
In this period. They should be up 1-0. They were the better team. I think maybe only marginally. Buffalo did play well in the second half of the period and had some chances. But if you don't open the door with a needless penalty, maybe this is 2-0 Leafs instead of 1-1 right now, because they gave some of the momentum back, giving the Buffalo Sabres a chance on the power play, and of course they were able to gain some momentum from it. So you got to clean that stuff up. I mean, it will kill you if you continue to give your opposition chances they simply don't deserve, and a too many men is always one that the opposition doesn't deserve.
I will say the Maple Leafs got a time and a chance and a half at this point. They'll go into the second period with a power play to start, but Tage Thompson in the box twice for tripping and hooking. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you got an 8-foot wingspan and a stick that's from one end of the ice to the other.
You're careless with that 8-foot wingspan.
That thing's dangerous.
Easy to call the hook.
Nonetheless, I will say one of the most encouraging things that I've seen consistently from the start of the Maple Leafs season to now is their power play looks dominant. They look like the Harlem Globetrotters out there, the way they're moving the puck sometimes. We saw 2 opportunities of it in the last period, and it's tick-tack, tick-tack, tick-tack-toe. And I'll say Devin Levi had some really nice saves, specifically there at the end of the period when the Maple Leafs were pouring on shots. He was going post to post. He had no stick for one moment. He did this beautiful blocker save. Then he stacked the pads at the other end. This kid is looks like he could be for real. But the Leafs are moving the puck really well on the power play. They just got to be maybe one pass less selfish at times, right? It's oh, no, you got it. No, you got it. Oh, well, you missed your opportunity to shoot. But it's looking pretty. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it did look good. And Devin Levi, as you mentioned, looked good. I mean, it was a better period for Levi than it is for Woll. And you might be right about one too many passes. Also, there's a couple dangerous passes, it seems, that it's just a little, real too close for comfort, at least in terms of, what they're willing to do out there. So maybe a simplified approach just a little bit, but you don't want to take away from that creativity, because it's the creativity and it's just the pure talent and ability for those 5 players, if you want to include Klingberg, to find each other is what really, really allows for those opportunities. I think if you let the power play go, it will find those seams and those moments, but it isn't without some tension when the Maple Leafs power play is dishing it around no-look style.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a couple thoughts and a stat on how maybe the Maple Leafs were different in that period in response to Sheldon Keefe's fire yesterday morning. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra, XL, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
All right, everyone. Step up and down. Left foot, right foot. You're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs. Driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more to your Subaru. Windows down. Take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick single-family homes come with a long list of features you've always dreamed of. Gourmet kitchens, freestanding tubs, and even fully finished lower levels. Dare to compare and you'll see why it's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat, with more things to chew on. Our Great Canadian Meat pepperoni and Great Canadian Meat salami. Handcrafted in Whitby using the finest local ingredients, they're the perfect combination of great Canadian and meat. And Great Canadian gift for any occasion. Send them a pepperoni sticks gift box or say it with salami. Great Canadian Meat is the yummy gift that never gets returned. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A couple minutes away from the Maple Leafs skating out for the second period, tied 1-1 with the Buffalo Sabres. And we teased it before we went to break. All this talk about maybe a new Maple Leafs team. Well, they had a season-high 13 first-period hits versus the Sabres tonight. So they listened to something Sheldon Keefe said, and they brought a little snot.
A little did it feel overly snotty to you?
Stats are stats, Justin.
Stats over snot, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I saw a big hit from William Lagesson. I saw a couple other decent spots. Yeah, I don't know if it was, over the top, but 13 hits, as you're right, was 13 hits.
All right, stats are stats and goals are goals. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. What we got, Justin?
Busy one. It's Saturday night, of course. Nashville's already beat Edmonton. Ryan O'Reilly, hat trick.
Oh, God.
Winnipeg beat the Arizona Coyotes 5-3. Boston up 2-1 on Detroit with a goal from Matt Poitras. 1-1 Tampa and Ottawa, 2-1 Seattle. St. Louis over Montreal. Toronto and Buffalo 1-1. Washington up 2-1 over the Columbus Blue Jackets.
All right, Maple Leafs head out for the second period, tied at 1. Joe Bone and Jim Ralph led the call of the second period. Next, you're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Tulip continues to impress. This is a good-looking offense. I'm only jealous that I'm not a part of it.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
A.J. Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone in the ballpark know he's getting the ball, and you still can't stop.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes joins us.
We'll continue to get better and better as an offense.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Teams are tied 1-1 as we get set for the start of the second period.
Leafs, by the way, a season high in hits in a period, 13. Thanks, Armin, for that. They finished in Boston with 26.
Well, the best one was Lagesson stepping up. And they need more of it as the Sabres, down a man, send it down into the Leaf end. Buffalo scored on their lone power play opportunity. Leafs with their second now. Marner onto the left wing side, but it's going to be offside. It got caught up in the skates of Tavares trying to bring it in over the blue line.
1:06 to go in the second penalty of the game to Tage Thompson. By the way, Tage Thompson last year, August 2022, signed a contract, 7-year, $50 million deal. Kicked in this year. People thought it was insane. Until he scored 48 goals last season. And now might be one of the biggest bargains. 47 goals, 47 assists.
Around the boards, Leafs get the puck down into the offensive zone, but it is quickly cleared by Buffalo. Klingberg goes back behind the net and starts out. He'll get to the red line. Fed it off on the wing for Tavares. Dropped for Matthews. Matthews in the corner, centers, and it was tipped away from Nylander, but the Leafs are trying to keep the puck in. Marner knocks it down. Nylander back to Marner on the near half boards. Walks to the middle, down low, trying to backhand there was Tavares, hit the side of the goal. Nylander with it at the far point. Shot in on goal, and Levi is going to stop that with the stick. It'll pop up and into his glove. Face-off coming with 8 seconds left in the power play in the Buffalo end.
As good as the Leaf power play has looked, one thing we just saw on that play there, nobody in front of Devon Levi for any kind of screen. I mean, you saw how the Sabres scored, maybe not a spectacular goal. Mikhail Opozo right at the top of the crease in front of the Leaf goaltender.
Domi wins the draw. It comes back to Brody. His shot was blocked. Domi with a spinning move, but the return fire was blocked before it reached the net. Centered in front. Yarncrook was going hard to the front of the goal, but it went off his stick and went wide, and the Sabres are going to get it out at center and get a change going after killing off that penalty. A 1-1 tie here in Toronto. Pass ahead. Broken up and tucked. Brings it right back in over the line. Works in with a backhand that went wide of the goal. Thompson trying to jam it in from the short side. Where is it? Somewhere underneath. Wall, who's desperately trying to stay out of the net.
Joseph Wall looks like Roger Crozier there, doesn't he? Holding onto the top of the net. Trying to keep his balance forward and the puck out. Tage Thompson, we mentioned the 47-goal season last year, had a rough start this season. And even though he was held pointless against the Philadelphia Flyers last night, still has 4 goals in his last 5 games.
Middlestat won the face-off, but it goes into the corner. Camp trying to chip it along for Giordano, but they're in a traffic jam in the far corner that the Sabres are able to get the puck free finally, and now work it back towards the blue line. Losing his stick was Camp, but there's going to be a penalty here against Toronto.
And holding is going to be the call, and I think it's going to be David Camp for trying to get away with the hold by dropping his stick. That's not going to work, and the Leafs, who looked in the first period like they were going to be able to control this game, are now put themselves in a position where they're back in their heels. They're -1 in specialty teams. Yeah, this, you got to call this. Once the left arm comes over and grabs it.
Well, although it was Camp's stick that got pulled out of his hands, which is kind of interesting. Darling starts through neutral ice, gets to the line and in on the right wing side. Skinner, a bad pass in the slot area, but the Leafs gave the puck away. Had a chance to clear and didn't. And now what?
I think we got a Buffalo penalty. That's good. No, it might be Marner.
Levi was starting out of the net.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Wow, I think Alex Tuck thought he was going. He actually started toward the penalty box. And as the official said, number 16, Toronto, Tuck did a little U-turn back to the play. And yeah, for Mitch Marner, I mean, this is... Darlene dropped his stick after the slash by Marner, and a minute 34, a 2-man advantage.
Second time this season the Leafs have been 2-man short. 26 seconds the last time. Into the slot, Dolan trying to get it in front of the net. It goes into the near corner. The Leafs will get it up on the wing, and Yarncrook gets it out the rest of the way.
He looked over at Mark Giordano, and Giordano gave him the look like not in your life. Down 5-on-3.
Here are the Sabres in over the line. Thompson on the far half boards. Gets it back to the blue line. Now to Darlene, trying to work it off on the right side. Gets it returned. Thompson playing catch with Darlene. Back to Thompson. Back to Darlene. Rasmus Darlene for Thompson once more. Now they're going to exchange position. Skinner to Darlene. Down low, a pass off the goal stick of Wall. Thompson once more. Faking the shot. Skinner down low and the pass through the goal crease. No one there. Skinner once more. Holds middle of the ice. Shot stopped by Wall and he gets the rebound. He stayed right with that. Tracked that one pretty well, Jimmy.
Yeah, and he had to stay deep because of the backdoor options on either side of him. And there really wasn't much of a screen in front of him either.
Face off to his left. 36 seconds in the first. Penalty, and the Leafs are going to get it out and down the ice, courtesy Morgan Riley. Darlene's pass to the blue line. Lagesson couldn't intercept. Back into the slot. Rasmus Dahlin, a shot. That stopped, and again Wall is able to cover up.
Again, I think looking for the redirection. Owen Power delivers it from the high slot. He had Alex Tuck sifting in front of Wall. And I don't know if Tuck got a piece of this or not. Joseph Wall's positioning was perfect to be able to seal off the bottom part of the net.
Leafs win the face-off, but Brody couldn't finish the clearing attempt, and a shot is blocked. Rasmus Dahlin with it again, working it back to the point. They'll exchange positions. Near side, Thompson, and across came Wall again. First penalty is over. Shot blocked. Leafs trying to feather it out. A centering pass went wide. Camp takes his man to the boards. It comes to Thompson. A drive. Again, Wall. Okay, that's just brilliant goaltending. He came across, square, butterfly, no room to shoot.
That's exactly what he did to Alex Ovechkin in Washington. And Tage Thompson, you have to respect that blast. What I like about this, Joe, too, he was actually on his way out towards the top of the crease when he made it. Because you know, if these guys, you give them a sliver, they're going to take advantage of it. And the Leafs, 14 seconds left in the penalty to Mitch Marner. So a huge face-off here to dodge a 5-on-3 disaster.
And the Sabres win the draw. Power at the blue line, left wing side, into the slot, a shot. Another save made by Wall. Leafs trying to get the puck out, they don't. Chopped that, but now cleared. Marner's out of the box. Sabres organizing on the far boards. Power down low, trying to find Krebs. Back to Owen Power. Power to the point, to the near side. Trying to play it in, intercepted by Camp. Leafs are going to get to it and control it back of the net. Off the boards, and Noah Gregor will flip the puck out at center ice. And this crowd gets into it. Fired by the Leafs down into the Buffalo zone. Huge 5-on-3 kill of a minute 34. Would you say the officials maybe owe? But that doesn't happen.
No.
Up on the right side, brought to center ice now by Klingberg. Trying to play it into the corner, but it was partially blocked. And the Sabres launch it high into neutral ice, bounding to the blue line. A hit there on the boards then by the Leafs, Lajoie. And the Leafs get it out at center. Nyes on the wing for Matthews. Penalty coming. And Matthews got a bit of a weak shot at the net, but the slash.
All right, you were right. They owed him one. They got it.
Oh, no. What about the minute 34 on the two-man advantage?
Well, we're not done yet, are we? We've already got another marginal slash. So that might be the even up. Well, what are we overall, Joey? Now it's going to be 3-3. So, yeah, we're even.
We're even. We're good.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a gift call as well, but the Leafs will take it. I mean, it's stick on stick. Usually if the stick gets into the hands, that's when you're going to call a penalty, but Leafs will go to their third power play of the night.
Matthews trying to keep the puck in at the blue line, does to Nylander. Nylander closing down low. Marner got it off on the wing for Tavares, and he was stopped on the short side. Whoa. Shoot in down into the Leaf end, got by Wall and bounced right out in front of an empty net.
I think he was surprised at how hard it was fired.
And then Marner has it stolen away. Thompson in. Stop. They score. Wall made the save, but it just trickled by him.
And it's Tage Thompson who was in the penalty box for the first two Buffalo penalties. Strips it off Mitch Marner. It was Matthews and Marner kind of went tape to tape right at the Leaf blue line, and Tage Thompson just read it. And he walked in. Wall got most of it. But Thompson's second shorty of the year as the Buffalo Sabres up by a score of 2-1.
Third shorthanded goal. The Leafs have surrendered. And for Thompson, that is goal number 6 on the season.
And Sheldon Keefe right away goes to the second unit.
Here's Yarncrook. And on the wing, Domi on the far side couldn't keep it in. It comes back, and it'll be stretched out by Morgan Rielly. Rielly starts through neutral ice, drops it for Domi. Domi to the line, left wing feed, Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi sends it around the boards, intercepted there by Tuck, and set out and down the ice. That just did trickle underneath the glove of Wall, too, to get into the net. Bertuzzi down into the corner. Sabres' first lead in the game. Riley to Domi. A pass in is deflected by Nyes, and it went wide of the goal, and it is fed back out at center ice. Leafs are going to try and get back in again. Work down into the corner. Bertuzzi hit to the boards. Puck swept around the wall, and Klingberg couldn't trap it. Penalty's got 19 seconds left in it, but it has backfired on Toronto. Klingberg to the line. Works into the far half-boards. Pass into the goal crease area, but it wasn't directed high enough or wide enough. Levi is easily there to make the save. Unassisted goal for Tage Thompson. And a short-handed one to be the exclamation mark on it.
Now it's odd. 6 goals on the season. Only 1 on the power play, and now 2 shorthanded.
There's another guy that probably you wouldn't have expected to be a penalty killer, but he has fit that role rather nicely with Buffalo. Pass for Riley didn't work. Now he backhands it high. I mean, it's too high. It's gone into the screen and out of play.
You talk about the perfect trade, though, that worked for both teams. Ryan O'Reilly went from Buffalo to St. Louis for this unknown Tage Thompson. Well, they got the future of the Sabres, and Ryan O'Reilly won a Conn Smythe Trophy and a Stanley Cup with the Blues.
He and Nyes and Matthews, all from Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Bet365 doesn't do ordinary. That's why they've introduced the Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same-game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are all in one place. Check out the Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs. To pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience a new level of luxury at Williamsburg Green. Your new single-family home will have all the modern features you dream about, even a fully finished lower level. Kitchener's newest master plan community with bike trails, parks, and a new library. Williamsburg Green has it all. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Buffalo Sabres 2 and the Maple Leafs 1. Short-handed goal from Tage Thompson is the difference. The Leafs killed off a 2-man disadvantage of 1:34, and then with their power play looking to take advantage of that, it blows up in their face. Klingberg takes the puck back to the Toronto net. And has to go back, being chased back there by Victor Olofsson. Now the Leafs get it ahead, and it is Giordano shooting it in. Batted around the boards to the far side. Nylander tried to tip it in front. The puck is pushed out into the center ice area, and now brought in over the line by Buffalo. Pass into the left wing side. Dahlin with a shot, and that was whipped wide. Then a sharp angle try was blocked by Wall. Bertuzzi just tipping it out into the center ice area. Sabres regroup. Pass ahead on the left wing. Dahlin with a shot into the glove of Wall. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. Leafs will entertain the Tampa Bay Lightning on Monday night, 7 o'clock start.
think, by the way, I mean, the Leafs scored 13 goals in their first 2 games of the regular season. The offense has really dipped since then. They've hit 3 times. That was on the road trip. And they hit 3 straight 4-goal games. Some empty netters in there as well, but they scored only 5 in the last 3.
Tuck with a chance and was just deflected wide of the net. Shot to the side of the goal. Brody plays it off the boards to center and out into the Buffalo end. Clifton goes back. He chased as the puck comes up on the wing. Thompson couldn't get freed. Clifton playing it around the boards, but Riley will send it back to the net. Matthews trying to find room against the wall, works into the near corner. Centered in front of the net, and a one-timer by Yarncrook went off his stick and over top of the net. Connor Clifton for Skinner. Markham native got it out at center. Got a return pass on the wing that was knocked off his stick. Gregor couldn't take advantage of it. Riley had it knocked away as the puck comes in over the line in the lead zone. Thompson bowling his way into the corner, but his pass is deflected out at center ice by Ryan Reeves. Darlene, a pass on the right side is flipped in by Jordan Greenway. Leafs are able to get there, and now Brody sends around to the far side. Noah Gregor couldn't get it out. Krebs will play it back behind the Toronto net. Yost trying to come out of the corner with it. Stops. Near half boards. Works around back of the goal. Riley takes him out of the play. Comes to the side of the goal. Stopped there by Wall. Good cycle job being done here by the Sabres. They try to center. Puck knocked away. Leafs fourth line out here. And Brody is tripped. There's going to be a penalty here against Buffalo. Reeves gets it down into the Buffalo end. And there's the whistle.
Well, another tripping penalty in this game. Tage Thompson has a tripping penalty. And the fourth line spent a lot of time in their own end, but fortunately end up drawing a penalty out of it.
We're back with the power play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The NASCAR Championship is on the line, and SiriusXM will take you to the track for every thrilling turn.
1, 2, 3 cars crashing and colliding.
Tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 4 drivers enter with equal points, and the highest finisher takes the title.
Hey, it's William Byron. This is Christopher Bell. This is Ryan Blaney. This is Kyle Larson.
And driver-to-crew chatter puts you in the car for every lap.
Checker flag right here, Vegas. Let's get it.
The NASCAR Cup Series Championship live from Phoenix.
Let's go get a championship, baby.
Listen on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio,
Channel 90,
and on the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Radio Network.
Jordan Greenway gets the penalty for Buffalo for tripping, or I guess they're calling it hooking. And the Leafs are in need of a power play goal here to equalize.
I don't think the big boys need any more inspiration. And the last time they were on the power play, gave up the shorthanded goal to Tage Thompson. And the big unit was off the ice right after that.
Here's Klingberg bringing it out at center, dropping for Nylander. He drops for Marner. Back to Nylander on the right wing. Marner's going to the front of the net. The pass to Matthews. He scores! don't think you can draw it up any better.
What I found amazing with this, Tage Thompson tries again to break up the play, and Mitch Marner went, okay, I'll beat you one-on-one this time. And that caught Thompson standing still outside the Buffalo blue line. Marner simply sifted through him, and that led to the odd man rush into the Buffalo zone. Marner over the line, backhand pass to Willie Nylander in the right wing boards. Nylander then looks up and finds Austin Matthews in the slot, and Matthews fires at 5-0 to tie this game up at 2.
And Willie Nylander's streak continues.
It's 11 now. That Nylander has a point in each of the 11 games the Leafs have played this season.
Lajoie getting the puck ahead for Reeves. Rink wide, brought in by Lagesson, trying to flip it in front of the net. That misses. Reeves unable to get a hit in, and a long lead pass for Skinner. Winding and driving and scores! The fourth line is on the ice for another minus.
It's LaJoie and Brody, Joe, that seem to get mixed up in the Buffalo zone, and nobody picks up Skinner. I mean, this is just a simple breakout. Pardon me, Lagesson on the far side and trying to get another look at this, but this just seemed to be the Leaf defense standing still. My apologies, it was Camp 64 that was late coming back. And Jeff Skinner quickly restores the 1-goal lead for the Buffalo Sabres, and a little half slapper from the left wing circle beats Joseph Wall's short side. And the Leafs once again have given up 3 goals in a game, 3-2 Sabres.
They have given up 4 goals in each of their previous home games. It's a bit of an alarming trend and seems to be coming back. Bouncing puck in the Buffalo zone. Domi couldn't come up with it. And the Sabres are going to chip it to the line and out and down the ice, and this will be an icing call. For Jeff Skinner, that is goal number 6 on the season.
An interesting stat, Jeff Skinner right now is playing in his 944th regular season game. He has never played in the postseason with Carolina or Buffalo, so he's got a rather odd streak going. It was held by Ron Hainsey before Hainsey made the playoffs with the Penguins. And
he did all right that year.
Yeah. He thought, you know what, this isn't that hard.
No.
Make the playoffs, win a cup.
Win a cup. And, of course, came to Toronto. Puck down in the Toronto end. Giordano has it go off his stick.
Boy, Buffalo close to getting a too many men in the ice penalty.
Fired down into the Toronto zone. 7 minutes to go in the second period, and the Sabres have a 3-2 lead. Long stretch pass. Tavares trying to flip it in front of the net for Nylander, and it didn't connect. Another shot went wide. Nylander with it again, and a shot. Levi got low to block that with the right pad, and the Sabres get it out. Leafs trying to bring it right back in, but Matthews couldn't handle a pass at the blue line. Sabres will get it right back into the Leaf end and force Morgan Rielly back in behind his goal. Off the boards to center. Matthews to the line, trying to slide in. Marner steals in front, and fanning on the shot was Yarncrook, who was right dead middle. I don't know if he had his stick tapped or not, but my goodness, you couldn't have put it on a tee in a better spot. Sabres get it out at center, and Skinner works in on the left wing, dropping it back to the far side. Pass intercepted, and knocked out into the neutral zone. Racing after it is Gregor. Noah Gregor with a shot. Short side, but he missed the net. Klingberg will regroup. Fired by Lagesson down into the zone. Defense making a change. Reeves into the corner. That's drawing a crowd. The puck came free to David Kemp in front of the net. Morgan Riley smothered by Levi. Maybe his best save.
David Kemp pried a loose puck out of the right wing circle and found Morgan Riley had snuck down from the left point. Put it right on his stick, but because the pass was so slow getting to Morgan Riley, Devon Levi had plenty of time to jump over and square up.
Skinner from Johnson is the go-ahead goal. It's 3-2 Buffalo. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 minute truck, 2 minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Draw one by the Maple Leafs as it comes into the slot. Tavares let a shot go that went high and wide over top of the net. Leafs get it back of the goal. Nylander trying to come in front, had it bounce away, and then unable to reach it was Bertuzzi. And the Sabres, Greenway gets into the Leafs zone with a long shot in on Joseph Wall. Puck goes back of the net. Leafs trying to extricate it. A bad pass in front is intercepted easily there by Tavares, who tries an alley-oop pass, trying to get it to Nylander, but it was well out of his reach. Peterka for Buffalo to Middlestat. Pass back that Tavares knocked away. Brody chases it down into the corner. Will play it up on the wing, but then has it handed back to him. And he'll try the other side, and now here's Morgan Riley. Getting it out in center, but a pass intercepted. Brought back in now by Buffalo. Yost dropping it back. It comes out over the line. Sabres have to go back to neutral ice to reorganize. Flipping it in. 4 minutes to go in the second period. Buffalo by a goal. Played back to the point. Kept in by the Sabres. Into the corner. It is Brody coming up with it. Tavares knocks his man off the puck. Tried to get it back of the goal to his defenseman. That didn't work. It comes back to the point. Kept alive by Buffalo. Bryson sends it around the boards to the far side. That's not going to work. Tipped ahead, and the Leafs will get it out finally, but without any control, and Buffalo's back in their own zone. Sabres start away. Dahlin across the line. Bouncing puck. Played away nicely there by Matthews. Now to Klingberg. Return to Matthews. He couldn't stick handle his way past one of the forecheckers, and the Sabres have sent it right back into the Toronto end. Now to center. Matthews in across the line. Works into the corner. Matthews against the boards. Couldn't come up with it. Played to Skinner. Skinner gets it out. Sabres to the line and in. Thompson trying to get free. One hands it to the side of the goal. And the Leafs have it again. Holmberg to Matthews. Cross now for Nyes. Shot blew up the stick of the defenseman, and the goaltender Levi, realizing that, is able to get a glove on it, stop play, and he'll get a relieved defenseman knowing he can get that stick now. 2:33 to go in the second period. It is 3-2 Buffalo.
Doesn't feel like we've had a push yet to the Leafs, has it? Been very evenly played since Leafs and Sabres exchanged goals here at 11:22 and 11:56 of the second period. That has Buffalo still up 3-2.
You talked about the goals against at home. The Leafs have a 4.25 goals against average at home this year. Only the San Jose Sharks at 4.80 have more.
With all due respect to the Sharks, you do not want to be in any category that they are in.
They are in. No. Bouncing puck in on goal, scooped up by Joe Woll and held. This is the first time in the regular season, at least, that we have seen the Buffalo Sabres. Of course, they played the exhibition game down in St. Thomas. But they are wearing a crest on their jersey, RJ. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention our good friend and former colleague, Rick Jenneret, who passed away after retiring at the end of last season to much fanfare. And we lost RJ way too soon. He didn't get to enjoy retirement very long, did he? And there's RJ Wade just outside the arena. Now here's Bertuzzi back in. Oh, and a one-timer by Bertuzzi went wide on the short side. I don't think he was expecting the return pass, do you?
No, but give Levi credit. He got over quick. He went right and then back to his left quickly to take away the bottom part of the net, and I don't know if he got a piece of that or not.
Fired into the corner. Morgan Riley centers it into the goal crease, and the Sabres are quick to get it out into neutral ice. Nylander gave the puck away to Alex Tuck. Tuck tries to center, stolen back by John Klingberg. Set up on the wing, and out at center it comes. Toronto to the line and in with Giordano. Rung around the boards into the near corner. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Played up on the wall. The Leafs are not going to get possession. Thompson carries back right in front of his own goal. He had Tavares chasing him, and it's launched high down into the Toronto end. Out come the Maple Leafs. Played ahead at center by Giordano and just rolled in to allow a change of players as Greenway comes back in to play it down into the Toronto end. Morgan Riley freeing it up on the wing for Marner. Last rush. That didn't reach Yarncrook. And the Sabres will backhand it down into the Toronto end, wide of the goal. 6 seconds left in the period. Yarncrook will do well just to get it out, and time will run out before they can do anything more with it.
Well, I know a lot is always expected of the Big Four, but they have come through in the last few games. In fact, it's only been the last four. The last few games. You've got to go back to Tyler Bertuzzi's goal at 5:08 of the third period in Dallas. The last time the Big Four did not put the puck in the back of the net. We got Matthews and Marner tonight, but it's Marner's, Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander. That's now 9 periods that the Leafs have not had any secondary scoring.
3-2 Buffalo at the end of 40 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Tua continues to impress. This is a good-looking offense. I'm always jealous, and I'm not a part of it.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
A.J. Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone in the ballpark know he's getting the ball, and you still can't stop.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes joins us.
We'll continue to get better and better as an offense.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league has talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
The one thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Point with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Under review. It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Hey, wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Kerr. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs Radio Network.
Back to Nylander on the right wing. Marner's going to the front of the net. The pass to Matthews. He scores! I don't think you can draw it up any better.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 3-2 to the Buffalo Sabres after 20 minutes, but that was a fun period. A little chaotic is always fun here at Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, it was chaotic. It was definitely more entertaining than the first. I guess if you could, neglect to any attention to the score, it was a really, really fun one. I think you'd like the Leafs to be up front at this point, but 2 goals in the period for the Sabres compared to 1 for the Maple Leafs. But it was a much more interesting period and a lot more to dig into.
Okay, let's start with the Buffalo Sabres' first goal then. Tage Thompson on a penalty kill. A very weird sequence. The
starts with Joseph Woll kind of going out of his net, the puck flying by and bouncing off the boards. It was a bit unsettling. Nonetheless, everything's fine. Matthews grabs the puck. He's headed up the ice. And a very soft pass over to Mitch Marner, who also is, receiving it with not a lot of head of steam. And Tage Thompson picks it off, buries it. I think he might even got his own rebound. Like, he kept on the puck and puts it in the net. But, like, a PK goal is deflating.
It definitely is. I guess it wasn't deflating for too long because the Maple Leafs power play did answer. But it's interesting how you look at things because you were all over Matthews for it. I was all over Marner. Maybe that's just our biases coming through.
This is a tandem of bad.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was a tandem of bad. It was two bad plays. Matthews probably with too short of a pass, maybe a little lackadaisical. But Marner trying to make something happen with no one behind you against the wingspan of Tage Thompson, who takes advantage of the fact that he can reach just a little bit farther than most guys. But we were talking about the power play, how it looks dangerous, but how there were dangerous passes in the first period. We saw two dangerous passes. They equate to one Tage Thompson goal, and it burns them and gives the Sabres an opportunity to take their first lead of the period. So
not too long after, Matthews kind of redeems himself, whether it was his fault or not. The play wasn't spectacular, but his goal was spectacular. He has a beautiful vintage Austin Matthews shot, gets in there. Nylander gets another point, extending his point streak to 11 straight games to start this season. Those guys on the score sheet, what else is new?
Yeah, it was a tale of two entries, or attempted entries, I guess, because they flubbed the first one, and the second one was picture perfect with William Nylander setting up Austin Matthews in the slot. I love that little change-up that he has. Like, he looks like he's going to absolutely rip it, I guess, Jeff Skinner style. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, boy.
And then he kind of, takes a little off it and goes 5-hole. He's scored so many goals like that. And I won't say none prettier because there have been few that could compare, but that was a beautiful equalizing goal, and Nylander, as you mentioned, extending his hot streak.
I will say, I think that's the first time we realized that we might be listening to Dup Dup, the Maple Leafs goal song.
I heard the first Dup Dup.
A little Dup Dupping still is the Maple Leafs goal song as of November 4th. Okay, and then not too long after, this one is another, the swing of momentum in that period was pretty outstanding. A goal, and then another goal, and then another goal. And this one was another deflating moment for the Maple Leafs. Fourth line goes on after that power play goal, and Jeff Skinner gets he takes a slap shot from the hash marks on the boards that rips past Joseph Woll, and it's the type of shot that if you did that in any other league other than the NHL, somebody would be meeting you in the parking lot, your beer league team, the Swinging Ducks, your tires would be slashed.
Yeah.
You cannot do that in any other league.
I don't even think in the American Hockey League you can wind up
ripping slappers.
Wind up from where he did, but that was a wow moment. The whole arena went silent when Skinner whipped that home, and he got that opportunity because of a guy named Ryan Johnson playing his first NHL game, a former first-round pick. I think 31st overall, so not all that heralded, but a young guy stepping up for Buffalo, doing what Calle Järnkrok did. Two really good stretch passes in this game, creating goals. The first from Calle Järnkrok, and in the second period, Ryan Johnson answered for the Sabres, setting up Jeff Skinner.
And I need the miles per hour on that shot. That thing was ripping.
I don't even think it reached full velocity because it was in the net so fast.
He was so close to the net. I don't think Joseph Woll even thought he would actually be taking a slap shot from that area. I mean, you got it, you flaunt it, but it's a very different type of goal that we've seen any Maple Leafs do a slap shot from there. So we are 3-2 after those three goals. The recap of the second period. But here's something that I guess is becoming a trend that, there's a positive spin and a negative spin for you. The last time the Leafs that were not Marner, Matthews, Tavares, or Nylander scored, it was 5:06 of the third period in Dallas. That's October 26, 2023. That's 11 periods of hockey since now. Marner, Matthews, Tavares, or Nylander have scored every goal since that point. And that's a great testament to a very strong core four. But on the flip side, you cannot sustain 11, 12, 15, 18 periods of hockey when nobody else is getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, I suppose it's a feather in the cap to those guys in some ways, but if Tyler Bertuzzi mixed one in, it doesn't take one off the board.
He was the one that scored that goal to start this trend.
He's the last one to score. So yeah, this is an obvious problem. Secondary scoring is a huge issue for the Maple Leafs, and it feels like anytime they come close, although Bertuzzi's had a couple moments, we'll give him that. It's been one of those guys predominantly. It's something they got to fix. They got to find a way to get some secondary scoring. And when those guys encompass the first two lines, and they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting, you look only to that third line that still, to us, looks very disjointed with Matthew Nyes, who's not getting enough opportunity, David Kampf, who's not an offensive guy, and Max Domi, who just can't get it sorted, at least it seems, from an offensive standpoint. So it's got to come from the third line, but the third line is just not coming together and not getting as much opportunity as they probably need, given that they're not all that effectual when they're out there.
You have a stat that is maybe more stunning than the stat I provided about the fourth line.
Yeah, well, it's mostly, I guess, about Ryan Reeves.
Well,
but,
fourth line.
We're extending it. Again, there's been some moments on the fourth line. Noah Gregor, of course, has scored a goal, so he's been on the ice for one. But Ryan Reeves has not yet. He runs his goal differential to 0-7 on the season. So the Maple Leafs on pace with Ryan Reeves on the ice to be outscored 52-0 this season, which is not a great stat. And again, this is not going to extend that long. I'm sure Ryan Reeves will get to throw his hands in the air at some point in a blue and white sweater, but it hasn't happened yet.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with a couple more thoughts before the third period. Maple Leafs trail 3-2 after 40 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
They say the game starts when the puck is dropped, right? Wrong. NHL Preplay, presented by Bet99.ca, is the game before the game. It's the free-to-play daily NHL Pick'em game. So how's it work? Every game day before the puck is dropped, answer up to 10 questions and earn points for a chance to win $100,000. It's that easy. Score big with the game before the game. Play today on the NHL app or at NHL.com/preplay.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
All right, everyone. Step up and down. Left foot, right foot. You're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs. Driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more to your Subaru. Windows down. Take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Herwin. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Williamsburg Green is everything you want in a community. Enjoy fabulous trails, parks, playgrounds, sports areas, and more. Our beautiful all-brick homes include luxury features you've always dreamed of, even a fully finished lower level. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2-minute truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2-minute-truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. Here's something to chew on. Great Canadian Meat's original beef jerky. It is really great. Locally handcrafted, 100% Canadian. It's the portable protein energy you can take anywhere. And it comes in 5 mouth-watering flavors: teriyaki, barbecue, Kentucky bourbon, sweet heat, and if you like it hot and spicy, hot and spicy. Power up and eat some energy. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Long shot, deflects in front of the goal. They backhand it into the net.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A few minutes here left to tee up the final period Leafs trail 3-2 against the Buffalo Sabres, and it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night, so shout out to the Maple Leafs for doing a really good job on an important night. So let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. What are we looking at, Justin?
2 finals. Nashville beat Edmonton 5-2. Winnipeg beat Arizona 5-3. Boston up 3-2 on the Red Wings at the second intermission. 4-1 Tampa over Ottawa. 3-2 St. Louis over Montreal. 2-1 Washington over Columbus. And the Kings are up 2-0 on the Philadelphia Flyers. Also, the Islanders up 3-1 on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Everybody's playing.
And the Blackhawks up 3-0 over the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of hockey tonight. A lot to go here with the Maple Leafs down 3-2 going to the third period. 20 minutes left.
Big period.
Win the period. Maybe
avoid a 4-game losing streak.
That's the most important thing. All right. We'll send it to Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph, who has the call of the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A new generation of hip-hop superstars was born on SoundCloud. Stay connected to what's popping online now on SoundCloud Radio.
Let's get it.
A SiriusXM channel where new hip-hop is always on.
I been running, keep up, gunning, stop the frame. Clear the runway, because we about to take off on SoundCloud Radio.
Now, for a limited time on Channel 104, and always in the SiriusXM app, included with all trials and popular plans.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on Sirius XM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter.
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's holy grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to Sirius XM FC 157.
The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The Buffalo Sabres are 4-0-0, and they've led heading to the third period, and the Maple Leafs on 4 occasions have trailed, and on 1 occasion have come from behind. And they're going to have to try and do that here tonight. Leafs to the right and the Sabres to the left as it's played down into the Buffalo zone. Yarncrook to Matthews. He slips it around back of the net. Marner got behind the goal. Sends it in front. They score! Matthews stationed off to the side, and Marner spotted him. And the Leafs waste little time tying the game.
17 seconds into the period, but Mitch Marner makes it happen. Chases down the loose puck. Is intending around the Buffalo net. Takes about 3 hacks from the Buffalo defenseman Yokoharu. Continues behind the net. Looks out for Austin Matthews, who slides down and snaps a quick shot Walker's side to tie this game at 3.
Marner with a 3-point night. And the Leafs have it back in their own zone. Long rink-wide pass out of the reach of Bertuzzi. Sabres back organizing in their own end. A lot of folks haven't made it back into their seats. They're going to find the game tied when they do. Nylander drops the puck back. Giordano skates it into neutral ice, but realizes his teammates are changing. Now the pass comes ahead. Nyes kicks it into the left wing corner. Tries to work it back along the boards. Nyes still with it. In front now for Domi, who doesn't shoot it off on the angle. Camp trying to help out, and the Sabres are bringing it back to center ice. Camp back between Domi and Nyes. Puck along the boards in the Toronto end. Lagesson trying to pin his man. It comes free to Morgan Rielly. And Rielly finds an opening on the left wing. Camp got it out. Domi couldn't help him out. Sabres bring it right back in again. Long shot went off the side of the Leaf goal. Played ahead. And Gregor couldn't get it out this time. And the Sabres doing a good job hemming the Leafs in here as Lagesson finally gets it to Noah Gregor. And now he plays it off the glass high to center ice. Austin Matthews has already had 2 hat-trick games. He's 2/3 of the way to another one. Brody back in his own zone. Left wing feed. Lifted high to center ice by Giordano. Now the Leafs come away with it in the corner. Noah Gregor looking for Reeves. Back to the point. Cross ice to the far side. A shot taken there by Brody was deflected. The rebound to the side of the goal, and Pontus Holmberg couldn't get his stick on it to drive it to the net. Sabres back in their own zone. Both teams changing again. Deflects down towards the Leaf goal. Stopped by Wall. Tucked back of the net to his defense. Played off the boards to center, but it got by Marner and is back at the Buffalo blue line. Connor Clifton gets it down into the Leaf end. Broken up there by the Leafs on the boards, but it goes into the corner. Centering pass in front. Big save, rebound, scores! Jordan Greenway. After Wall had bailed out a horrible pass, Greenway gets the rebound, and it is 4-3 Buffalo.
Again, the Leafs are there in numbers. Mitch Marner just missed picking that off. But Wall makes the first stop and then the rebound. The Leafs have 4 guys in the slot. The Sabres essentially have 3, and 1 below the goal line, and it's Greenway that jumps on the rebound and snaps it past. Everybody gets watching, and it was John Klingberg was the closest. He actually probably did more harm than good in blocking Wall's attempt to get back to the short side.
So after tying the game 17 seconds into the period, the Sabres restore the 1-goal lead. And it is 4-3, and once again the Leafs have surrendered 4 goals on home ice. Matthews getting it around the boards to Morgan Rielly. He stepped out over the line, and that's going to be offside.
And this building has gone deathly quiet once again. As the Sabres out shooting the Leafs by a count of 30-25. And really, they played a pretty smart road game, haven't they? Had a power play goal, shorthanded goal. Every time the Leafs have scored, Buffalo's come back to score within 5 minutes of it. Seconds after the Leafs had scored in the second period, Buffalo came back.
Buffalo goal, his second of the season, scored by number 12.
Second of the season. Now Thompson in over the line. Thompson with the long reach gets it back to the point. Jokiharju, a shot block. Thompson turns again, and the shot rang off a shin pad and comes all the way to center ice. Nylander gave chase but couldn't catch up to it. Alex Tuck back in across the line for Thompson. Shot just missed that far post. Goes into the corner again. Thompson reverses back of the net for Skinner. Skinner centers. That went off the stick of the goaltender. Comes back to the blue line. Kept in there by Buffalo. Around for Skinner again. Centering in front. Off a stick. Cleared to the line. Leafs don't get it out. This time they will. Nyes up ahead for Morgan Riley. Riley in over the line with a backhand. And that was just off the mark wide. Didn't have much on it either, as both teams are changing. Buffalo 4, the Maple Leafs 3. Launched right back down into the Toronto end. Klingberg for David Kampf. Nicely fed ahead, and Brody brings it in. Tried to flip it in front of the net. It was too high. Back of the net, Kampf. No one there. And off the boards, the Sabres get it down into the Toronto end. I think the Buffalo player thought that it was offside, but the linesman had waved it off.
It's almost like TJ Brody was whispering in his ear, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got it. It's offside.
It's offside. I'll take it here. No problem. Sabres launch it back down into the Toronto zone. Played into the corner and back of the net. Lagesson. Pass intercepted, but brought to center ice now by Toronto. And they're going to regroup it back in their own zone. Lagesson. A nice pass to find Matthews. Driving the net with a pass into the slot area, but unable to reach it in time was Yarncrook. And a backhand feed now off a stick goes out of play. 13:54 remain in the third period. But a goal from Greenway has restored the Buffalo advantage. 4-3. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Tulip continues to impress. This is a good-looking offense. I'm always jealous, and I'm not a part of it.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
A.J. Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone in the ballpark know he's getting the ball, and you still can't stop.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes joins us.
We'll continue to get better and better as an offense.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
If you're a soccer fan, you know that this music means one thing. The Champions League is on SiriusXM FC.
Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Kane scores!
The top teams from around Europe are battling for club soccer's holy grail.
Real Madrid do what they do best. What a start for Inter!
Hear all the top Champions League matches all tournament long on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Radio Network.
13 minutes and 54 seconds remain in the third period, and the Buffalo Sabres have a 4-3 lead. The two rinks in Buffalo have always been the little shop of horrors in my estimation. But doesn't matter where the standings are. Boy, this has been...
The Sabres just really seem to...
hard-nosed rivalry, and the Sabres are dominating it, right?
And lately in this building, they seem to be...
Shot from the point, whistled just wide. Yarncrook playing it back behind his own goal. And out at center, a pass finds Marner. He's going to flip it in into the forecheck. Quickly played by Buffalo, high to center ice. Klingberg goes back to retrieve it. Klingberg up ahead. Morgan Riley had that bounce over his stick, and it turns into an icing. Greenway from Middlestat and Peterka is the go-ahead goal for Buffalo.
For the Sabres, look like they had a great opportunity to start the season. 7 of their first 11 games on home ice, only 3-4 at home, and 2-2 on the road for the Sabres. So they're trying to get back to the 500 mark, but were unable to do it on home ice. Most recently was the loss to Philadelphia last time.
Sabres control the faceoff, get a backhand away that went wide of the net. And Bertuzzi gets it out at center ice. Klingberg dropping it off. Quickly played ahead by the Maple Leafs to center. And down into the Buffalo zone it goes. Bertuzzi taken to the boards, but the Leafs arrive with numbers. But Nylander can't get it out in front of the net where Tavares was waiting. The Sabres have iced the puck. 12 minutes and 37 seconds remain in the third period. A 4-3 Buffalo lead. They came in 2-2 on the road. They are 5-6-0 for 10 points. At this point.
Very similar to what I said 48 seconds ago. You never listened to me.
What? Shot! Scores! They tied the game, Mr. Ralph. Listen to me.
And I think it's Austin Matthews again on the redirection. Won the draw, and Giordano just threw it to the net for the left point. And Austin Matthews has his third hat trick of the season. As the Hats come onto the ice, I'll ask you this, Joey. The year that Austin Matthews scored his 60 goals, do you know how many he had at this time that season?
6 or 7?
He had 3. In fact, on November the 6th, 2021, Matthews scored twice against the Boston Bruins to hit the 5-goal mark.
That came right off the face-off.
And a very harmless-looking shot, and they might be looking at this as to whether it might have been a high stick or not. And this will be a tough one for the Buffalo Sabres to challenge. You lose it, and the Leafs would go right on the power play.
Well, if they win it, a lot of people have just gotten rid of some pretty good hats.
Yes. Can you imagine trying to return them?
Well, we'll stop the game. Yeah. Everybody come down. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, we're looking at it again. No, this is below.
Waist high.
Now, Tage Thompson seemed to... It actually looked like it went off a Buffalo stick first, did it not? Joe, I'm looking at the replay.
Well, Austin Matthews, what a start.
It was Connor Clifton that I thought got a piece of it first. And Frank Granato over on the Buffalo Sabre bench, he and his coaching staff continue to look at this. And what happened was, with the Hats coming on the ice, it buys the Sabres extra time to review it. But it does not look as though we got another hat just thrown on right by the Leaf bench.
So the game is tied, and Austin Matthews has his third hat trick of the season. Launch back down into the Buffalo zone. Centering pass broken up. Sabres play it out. This is getting by everybody and down the ice. No icing. Klingberg stripped of the puck. Centering pass in front of the goal is knocked away. And out come the Leafs on the left wing. Nyes trying to roll it in. It's going to go to the side of the goal. Played away there by Levi. And the Sabres start back.
His 11th of the season and third of the game. Score number 34, Austin Matthews.
Sabres around back of the Toronto goal. Looking to play it in front. It goes back to the point, a shot, and that was whistled wide of the far point. It kept in at the far blue line. Down into the corner now. Middlestat trying to get it freed up. It comes back along the boards and then stolen, and Domi will skate it out. He'll get to the red line and flip it in.
Wouldn't it be nice if the Leafs get a goal from somebody that isn't considered your top four?
Just saying, where are they if he hasn't got 3 hat tricks?
Well, and like you said, you got to go back to Tyler Bertuzzi's redirection goal in the third period in Dallas. The last time someone other than Matthews, Varner, Tavares, or Nylander found the back of the net. I mean, I know you've got that saying, your best players have to be your best players. But that doesn't mean
everybody else can't play.
Can't contribute.
Sabres work it in on the right side. Jokiharju with a long shoot in that Wall made the save on. Pounded back along the boards. Reeves was able to get it out. Gregor couldn't catch up to it. Now the Sabres back in with Tyson Jost. Jost taken to the boards. Down into the corner. Fed back up along the wall. And Gregor's going to get it airmailed out at center ice. And Reeves trying to get it into the zone. Couldn't. Gregor gets it down and not deep enough, but the Sabres are going to work it back at center. Jorgensen sends a long shoot in wide. Leafs are going to get a change in, and so are the Sabres as Nylander finds Riley. Cross the line, offside. And that was a close play. And the Leafs had a couple of Sabres trapped when the whistle went.
And Joseph Wall's first NHL game was November the 13th, 2021. In Buffalo against the Sabres. Leafs won that game 5-4. When Morgan Riley scored late in regulation time.
Well,
1948 was the time of Morgan Riley's goal to give Joseph Wall his first win. You'd take a Riley goal tonight, wouldn't you?
Yep. Maybe a little earlier than that, but that'd be fine.
Yes.
Sabres play it up on the left wing, and Skinner chops it to the Toronto blue line. Morgan Riley playing it back for Nylander. Almost too many men on the ice there, but no call. Here's Nylander in with a shot, and glove save made by Levi. Boy, there was a scramble going on at the Buffalo bench, wasn't there?
Well, either they had too few on and trying to look at it again, or they had too many men on the ice. Because the guy that jumped off maybe didn't have to. Because Buffalo got away with it.
It is 4-4. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we've introduced Same Game Parlay Plus. It's a game changer. Making a same game parlay across different games has never been easier, because the biggest games and most popular markets are now all in one place. Check out Same Game Parlay Plus and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Move up to Heathwood. Hi, I'm Hugh Heron. Experience true luxury at Williamsburg Green in Kitchener. Heathwood's all-brick homes are built with upgraded features and elevated finishes. Chef-inspired kitchens, spa-like en-suites, and a fully finished lower level. Even better, Williamsburg Green has parks, playgrounds, and trails to explore. It's time to move up to Heathwood. Learn more at heathwood.com.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat, with more things to chew on. Our Great Canadian Meat pepperoni and Great Canadian Meat salami. Handcrafted in Whitby using the finest local ingredients, they're the perfect combination of great Canadian and meat. And Great Canadian gift for any occasion. Send them a pepperoni sticks gift box or say it with salami. Great Canadian Meat is the yummy gift that never gets returned. Shop Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Half the third period is in the books, and Austin Matthews' hat trick is in the books. 7:27 is 11th of the season to tie the game at fours. Tavares, Nylander, and Bertuzzi, and the Sabres get the puck out at center ice. Bertuzzi sends it right back into the corner. He gets in there first with it, sending it around the boards. It'll trap on the far side. Sent high, too high, and deflects into the near corner. Another shot backhanded in front of the net by Bertuzzi, but he couldn't get hooked up there with Tavares. Tavares back to the point. Giordano, far side. Klingberg back into the slot, and a shot blocked, and the Sabres have a breakaway. Buffalo working in. Peterka and a goal. Big save made by Joe Woll. Klingberg back for Tavares. Tavares turns the puck over. Sabres get it out again. Klingberg trapped once more, and Woll takes a long shot and holds on. Better circle that save.
And for Joseph Woll, acknowledgement from this crowd. This is a breakaway from inside the Buffalo blue line. After a shot was blocked and the Sabres took off the other way as Peterka tries to go block her side. Willie Nylander was the closest man back and maybe providing enough pressure that a shot had to be taken and not enough time to make a move.
Leafs get it back into the Buffalo end. Marner rubbing out his defenseman, but the puck comes free, and now the Sabres will break it out. Backhanded by Skinner. Bouncing puck side of the goal, fed by Brody to the left wing side. Went off a stick, grabbed off by Tuck, centering pass. Tague Thompson smothered by Woll. The Leafs turn the puck over, and the Sabres have come close twice to restoring their one-goal advantage.
It was less than a little over 4 minutes in the first period where the Leafs scored. Buffalo came back. The second period, Matthews scored at 11:22. Skinner scored at 11:56. Earlier in the third, Matthews at 17 seconds, Greenway at 3:11. So it's been the Sabres that have been able to answer in quick fashion after the Leafs have scored.
Leafs had the lead in the first period. Shot down in the Buffalo zone, blocked by the defense, comes back at center. Domi for Klingberg. Klingberg will play it down into the Buffalo end. And they're saying he didn't make it to the red line. He got a point. And the linesmen are not going to give it to him.
Well, how big are face-offs? We saw that in Austin Matthews' third goal of the game, the tying goal. The Leafs 67% in the face-off dot. John Tavares has won 13 of 21. And he is second in the NHL coming in face-off proficiency.
Played around the boards for Nyes. He doesn't get it out. A shot stopped by Woll. Puck into the slot again. Oh, and it bounced over the stick of Peterka. Nyes carries back at center but can't get it into the zone. Owen Power to the line and in. Drops it off for Middlestat. Middlestat works into the corner. Goes around back of the Leaf goal, a shot. And that was blocked on the short side by Woll. Brody trying to knife it out at center, and he has, but he's spun it too far. Icing call here against Toronto.
Give the Sabres credit. They have battled, and the Leaf defenders have had all kinds of problems with the Buffalo forecheck tonight. And we saw a little earlier, Morgan Rielly tried to force it up the left wing boards, got cut off. Buffalo got a couple of scoring opportunities out of it. And maybe the best one was Peterka just bobbled it. He's had a tough stretch. Woll stopped him on a penalty or in a breakaway. And then Peterka had it roll off his stick 15 feet in front of the Leaf goalie.
High shot over top of the Leaf goal, maintained by Buffalo. Skinner back of the goal, trying to center on the short side, but Thompson couldn't get his stick on it. Skinner trying to work it back. Thompson carries into the corner. Got it back to the blue line. Near side, power shot, scores! The shot from the blue line.
And redirected right in front of Joseph Woll, and I think it's Alex Tuck, Joe, that is going to get credit for it. I don't even know if it hits a stick. It's just blasted from the right point. Well, whether it goes off his stick or just glances off him and in. But for Alex Tuch, that'll be just his second goal of the season. No, it went off his shoulder. Was going wide. He glances to see the puck sail into the net over the right shoulder of Joseph Woll. And the Buffalo Sabres have put up a 5 spot. Leafs gave up 5 against Montreal in the opener.
Second goal of the season for Tuch, as you mentioned. And the Leafs, once again, are trailing in the hockey game 5-4. They've come back to tie it on 3 occasions. And 6:45 left here in the third. Riley flips it towards the net, blockered away by Levi. And the Sabres are going to break it out at center ice. To the line and in, they'll flip it into the corner. Played around back of the net by Jordan Greenway. Reversed now by Peterka. Greenway sends it right back behind the net. Peterka with it again, trying to curl out. Cycles it back for Greenway. Now Middlestat. Middlestat with a backhand on the short side, stopped by Woll. Buffalo with 36 shots, the Leafs with 29. Six minutes left, third period. 5-4 Buffalo. Out at center ice, Matthews. He's got 3. Matthews playing it around back of the net. Far side for Brody. Brody trying to get it back to the point where his winger, Yarncrook, was filling in for him, but the pass was too hard. Matthews loses the puck at center. Thompson across the line. Had it taken away by Yarncrook. And Brody will start back at center. Stops. Drops it back for Marner. Marner with speed hits the line. Had it knocked off his stick. Cleared high to center ice. Sabres back in the other way. Shot stopped by Woll. Rebound cleared away. Girgensons was going hard to the net. Morgan Riley starting back out. Giordano off the wing goes to Domi. Domi tried to get a shot away, rolled off his stick. Just seems both he and Bertuzzi, anytime they try to get a shot away, it's either blocked, rolls off the stick.
I got Noah Gregor out now with Domi and Kemp.
Domi up on the left wing for David Kemp. Shot into the corner. Gregor after it along the boards. Domi couldn't keep it in. Out come the Sabres, 3 of them at the Leaf blue line. On the left wing side. Kemp forces his man wide. It comes back around the boards. Peterka playing it back to the point. Jokiharju to his defense partner. Holds. Gets it back again. Jokiharju again to the point. Long shot kicked away by Woll. And 4 minutes remain in the third. Sabres trying to get a change in. Will flip it deep into the Toronto end. Tuck from Dolan and Clifton. Now Bertuzzi. One hands it back of the net for Tavares. Back to Bertuzzi. Off a stick it goes to Tavares. Can't center. Kept alive at the blue line. And then Riley and Brody got tangled up there, and it's going to be offside at the Buffalo line. 3:31 left in the third. Buffalo 5, the Leafs 4. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Did you know you can get home and away feeds for every MLB, NFL, and college football game on your phone?
I can't believe it!
Every game, all season. It's all on the SiriusXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team, then tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite.
It is gone! An incredible finish!
And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SiriusXM app. Free for most subscribers.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance, because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the third period in a wild shootout here. And the Sabres have a 5-4 lead. Austin Matthews has scored 3 times. But a big goal from Alex Tuck. From Rasmus Dahlin and Clifton.
A shot that was probably going 3 feet wide.
Played in over the line. Matthews into the corner. Rubbed out as the puck comes free for Järnkrok. Backhanded back of the net. Matthews unable to get to it. Nylander in front of the goal. Shot then by Järnkrok was blocked. Marner not on the ice with Matthews on this occasion. Now Matthews got a shot away, but it was well wide of the net. Played to the point. Kept alive there by Giordano. Down into the corner it goes. Giordano trying to free it up. Matthews can't get to it. Played over on the far side, and it's out in center ice, and Nylander will get it to Lagesson, who gets it to Giordano, who shoots it back in. Bertuzzi, along with Domi, as it's back down into the Toronto end.
Well, Gregor's out with Domi and Bertuzzi now.
Keep an eye on Joe Wall. Clifton will get it out at center and down into the Toronto end. Wall gave the puck away. Wrap around the attempt to stop by Domi. May have saved the game.
Communication's got to be a lot better there between Wall and his defenseman.
Played back down into the Buffalo zone. Levi played it up on the boards, and the Sabres have it with 1:54 to go. Marner back on the ice.
They lost the first one at home and then won 6-4 in Ottawa in the second game. And it looks as though they're going to do the same thing here.
Last minute play in the third period.
Well, you cannot give up 6 goals or 4 goals on home ice every night. And I honestly can't fault Joseph Wall on any of them. Tuck with a 2-goal night. And the Maple Leafs are going to fall to 5-4-2 and 2-3 on home ice. Long shoot in on Wall, cleared into the corner. And Giordano will get it into the corner, but time is going to run out here with 10 seconds left in this one. And the Buffalo Sabres are full marks for picking up their third road victory.
And the Leafs now drop 4 straight. A couple of overtime losses in there. But the Leafs lose 4 straight now, being outshot 40-29. And really maybe the most disappointing part of this show, I mean, there were a lot of disappointments in this loss, but the shorthanded goal that the Sabres scored in the second period, I think was the killer and sort of set the tone that Buffalo was going to hang around in this game, and whenever the Leafs scored, it was the Sabres that responded. And in the end, Buffalo responded, 5 times. The Leafs scored the first goal of the game, and the Sabres kept coming back.
Time for the Molson 3 Stars, who would be picked.
Well, I might as well. I know it usually changes with the final score, but let's throw, Buffalo wins the game. I don't think we can go Toronto as the first star in this. So Alex Tuch, who has the winner, and then the empty netter. Peterka had a couple of points for the Sabres as well, but we'll go Alex Tuch first. Austin Matthews with a third hat trick for Matthews on the season. Let's go him number 2. And Mitch Marner ended up with, 4 points, Joey?
I believe.
I think was the final. So we'll go Mitch Marner number 3, although, for the most part, there were a lot of disappointing performances, I thought, from a Toronto standpoint. But just as a team overall, I don't think we've seen a game where they've clearly been the best team on the ice, and they simply controlled the game from start to finish. And I know there's no such thing as a perfect game, but just any kind of domination. They're in games, but I think the expectations are a lot higher for this squad than just being in games. And with a number of goals against, again, I think you can be, again, the conversation is going to be about the blue line. Obviously, you're down some guys, although Jake McCabe and Connor Timmins did skate today. Might be a ways away, but I just think overall, this is back to the concern where it's going to be the blue line.
Well, we will have Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert take you through our post-game show. Lots to discuss. The final is a 6-4 Buffalo victory. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Take 2 in a truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 in a truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 men in a truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks. So give us a call today.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. You've been listening to Molson Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Tulip continues to impress. This is a good-looking outfit. I'm only jealous that I'm not a part of it.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
A.J. Brown with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone in the ballpark know he's getting the ball, and you still can't stop.
Get closer to the game with interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes joins us.
We'll continue to get better and better as an offense.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
NHL Morning Skate.
NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly.
The league is talked about right now as far as neck guards go in that.
We have been really pushing hard cut-resistant materials and guards for use by our players. It is an adjustment for them. We are strongly recommending cut-resistant materials.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Point with Boomer Gordon.
One thing I'd like to say about Makar, let's not put a ceiling on this guy in terms of historical context. Makar will, at some point, as he puts a few more notches on his belt, he'll enter the conversation. Is he already one of the 10 greatest defensemen ever? Have I seen anything like Makar? Maybe not, man. He's dangerous.
Points with Boomer Gordon. 1 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Jersey really is set up to be not only competitive this year, Gord, but for years. You think about the fact that they have Luke Hughes and Nemitz on entry-level deals, like really contending for cups starting kind of last year and into this year. They are well-positioned from coach on down to be good for a while.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Sabres signed Rasmus Dahlin to an 8-year, that's the max, $11 million contract. This contract is more than Fox and Makar and McAvoy and Heiskanen and Hughes and Werenski. Are you telling me we couldn't have got this deal done for at least 10? Now, I like the guy, but he's not most of the guys that I just mentioned.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
It's the argument I hear a lot of times. Well, those guys got better players around them. Gretzky was good, but he wasn't that good. Had all these good players around him. Hey, wait a minute. I don't buy that argument as a dismissal of a guy's importance because he's part of that dynamic. He's part of that equation. And to take him out invalidates the entire equation.
Under review with Mick Curran. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
In the Maple Leafs Radio Network, Maple Leafs extend their losing streak to 4 games with a 6-4 loss at home against the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Buffalo was the team on the tough back-to-back, a team much lower in the standings. The Leafs, a team that was well-rested, well-motivated to start a 5-game homestand and unfortunately showed not enough fight to top the Buffalo Sabres tonight.
No, not enough fight. No fight at all if we're talking about actual fights. This team wanted to be tougher, maybe was tougher, didn't matter at all because they lose 6-4 to a team that should have been a little bit beleaguered after a loss last night and a traveling back-to-back. It's only been a week since we were talking about, hey, they still got a point in the last game of a road trip, 7 of 10. Pretty good roadie. Now this little stretch here the last week has been pretty poor, and this team is suddenly soul-searching, at least it feels from the outside looking in.
They allowed 40 shots to the Sabres. It wasn't Joseph Woll's best performance, but nonetheless, I guess Austin Matthews' hat trick, his 3rd of the season, is a bright spot on this evening, but it's going to be the same discussion. If it's not Matthews, Marner, Tavares, or Nylander, it's no one.
Yep, that's it remains the case. And that should have been the defining image of the game, right? 11 and 11 for Austin Matthews, 3 hat tricks. Like, these are all spectacular things. But for me, the thing I'm going to remember about this game is there was an icing call in the 3rd. Ryan Reeves is out there, and a couple taps on the shoulder. All the big guns for the Buffalo Sabres pour over the boards, and they score the eventual game winner within a few seconds. When you have a guy who can't get anything done offensively and is a liability at the same time defensively, they are going to be attacked. The target was on his back, and the Sabres' big guys got out there and took advantage of it.
Hats and bras thrown on the ice tonight.
Oh. Yeah, there was at least one bra.
Quite the Saturday night at Scotiabank Arena. Let's take a look around the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Visit the app for the latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly.
Sorry to throw off my equilibrium there with the bras on the ice, but they have been indeed picked up. Okay, Predators win 5-2 over the Oilers. Jets 5-3 over the Coyotes. Blues 6-3 over the Canadiens. Lightning are up 6-4 late over the Senators. Red Wings beat the Bruins. There's a loss on the Bruins record. That's fabulous. 2-1 Capitals over the Blue Jackets. Johnny Gaudreau benched in that one. 5-0 Kings over the Flyers in the third period. 3-1 Islanders over the Hurricanes in the third period. 4-0 Blackhawks over the Panthers. End of second. Connor Bedard has a goal in that one. And the Rangers and Wild are in the second intermission with the Rangers up 3-2.
The big game of the night, the San Jose Sharks look to get their first win. That's next on, that's the one game that hasn't started yet, or there's two more? Penguins and Sharks tonight.
Oh, there's still a couple. It's a busy night in the NHL. Wonder if Kyle Dubas loses to the San Jose Sharks later.
I wonder who's in
it's not been a good start for him.
In a hotter seat right now. Jay Woodcroft with the Edmonton Oilers, or Sheldon Keefe with the Toronto Maple Leafs, because the temperature's been turned up here.
I think it's still Jay. I think it's still a little warmer with Jay.
If you go on Twitter, it's definitely Sheldon Keefe.
But I haven't been impressed by Sheldon Keefe's start. I mean, you can go back to the pregame. We were talking about it at length. I don't think he's had a good start this season. I'm sure the boys on Leafs Talk will touch on that.
All right. I saw a funny joke about the bra on the ice. Maybe the only cups the Leafs are seeing this season. All right, we're back Monday night versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, 7 p.m. puck drop on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee is next. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Okay, baby. Leafs Talk. JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. Man.
Hey, buddy. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Thank you for the time off. Not nice to see you, Toronto Maple Leafs. I did not enjoy tonight. Austin Matthews scores a hat trick. He puts the cape on. But the Leafs are 5-6. Like, you can say it's loser points. You can say whatever you want. It's a team that has gotten has I would have told you at the beginning of the year, Austin Matthews has more goals than anybody in the NHL through 11 games. He's got 3 hat tricks. And I told you to guess the record. What would it be?
I don't know. Probably more than above 500. Probably. I would hazard a guess that they would be above 500. But yeah, it's starting to get into the concern zone here. We're now into November. They always talk about October being the slow starting month. And we're now into them like kind of looking worse after coming back from that road trip where they were pretty good. And like pretty much everyone outside of the core four has been no good the whole year. Like I don't know. I mean, I guess you talk about Riley's been good. You know, Gio gives it all he's got. Brody's gotten better. But like outside of the core four, they're getting nothing from anyone. And it's like tonight. You have a guy who scores a hat trick, Marner scores the other one, and you get nothing from anybody else, and you lose a game to the Sabres that you probably should have won. It's starting to think for me. There's the worst supporting cast right now. They're terrible.
It's starting to drive me nuts. This team was supposed to be built with the idea that there was going to be an offensive identity, right? That this was going to be the group, that they brought in Bertuzzi, that Nyes was going to be here for a full season, that, hey, Max Domi, for all his warts, was going to be an offensive impact player. He was going to frustrate you in the D zone, but he was going to be able to score. He was going to be able to set up players. He was going to create for others. That's happened in one game. I tweeted this after the game. Leafs forwards, they have 4 even strength goals this season. 4 in 11 games. The guys that aren't Marner, Nylander, and Sabres. It's a joke. They don't have that identity yet. And so, sure, could they find it? Could it end up being somewhere? But I just see no force throughout this lineup unless it's the top line going, which has found itself great. It has really found something over the past couple of games. Nylander, Tavares have been phenomenal for most part this season. Thought maybe a little bit of a sleepier one from Nylander tonight, but whatever that he's had. I'm not going to expect them to be aces every single night. There is just, those guys leave the ice, and it just feels like they're killing a penalty.
Yeah, it's one-way traffic. So I don't know where you want to start here. I mean, Bertuzzi, that conversation about Bertuzzi's been going on, and he looked like he was trying hard for the first half of the game. Then he went away again. I thought, Max Domi. I guess it's all the new guys that they've brought in that are just not contributing at all. And I guess the big question that I want to ask you here is, are they good? Like, is this more indicative of what they are? Like, are they going to be a team that's fighting for a playoff spot? Because I'm starting to believe that maybe they are. That maybe they are down towards the bottom of the Atlantic Division in terms of fighting for a playoff spot, maybe into that wild card area. Because if they don't start getting something more from their supporting cast, man, they're going to have a really hard time winning. Like, it's really, really glaring to me watching the non-big boy shifts, how bad it looks. And I don't know about the coaching. I don't know about all that. So we can get into that, whatever. But, like, they just seem to have, like you said, no identity. They're supposed to be this harder team to play against with guys who are snottier, and they don't do anything. There's no pushback or no, like, even it didn't even seem like there was any emotion in a game where it's like all they're talked about is how soft they are, and they just look like there's no contribution. So I don't know. Like, are you starting to worry here? Because I definitely am.
Yeah, here's what I would say. Worried in the sense of, do I think that they're going to miss the playoffs? No. Worried about the signings? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All along, I've said this, I've been on record about this the entire way. I like the Bertuzzi signing. I really thought it saved the Leafs offseason, considering the amount of talent that they were to. And not all of this was Tree Living's fault. I get it, because it was a position that he was put in where it's jumping late in the game. You've got a ton of forwards leaving, a ton of players that were leaving, some guys that just frankly did not want to be back, like Ryan O'Reilly has a hat trick tonight, right? Didn't want to be a Maple Leaf. Nothing you can do about it. But so far, I have to wonder about the mercenary aspect of this team, of just how much they feel like they can actually imprint an identity, or how much they even care to. Because you're right. The issues that I have with the team so far is that, okay, if you're going to be an offensive team, which is what we thought they were going to be with Klingberg and with Bertuzzi and Domi and all these guys, again, that they geared this team towards, score some goals, have more than 4 goals that are even strength outside of 11 games. It's just frankly flat out not good enough. And you just got called out by your head coach the game before. You just had an embarrassing night against the Boston Bruins, and it was. You might have scrapped and clawed for a point and played a competitive game. But, they're leading Hockey Night in Canada in the second intermission with Elliott talking about these guys saying we're going to defend ourselves, or whatever the hell the quote is. Even though this has been a million times over, these guys have said it 1,000. Oh, we're going to defend each other. And then it never happens. It never materializes. The toughest guy on the team can't get on the ice for more than 2 minutes without absolutely killing this team.
Yeah.
Like the one goal tonight, right after the Leafs tie.
He was minus 2 in 8 minutes tonight? Like, I don't even know if he played 9 minutes and he's minus 2.
You ever wrestle with a drunk person when you're not drunk? It's a weird analogy, and they're kind of lumbering towards you, and you just can step aside and grab them and go like, yeah, this isn't happening. That's Chiefs on every forecheck. He's like, I'm a coming, and the D or the forward breaking it out. It's like, I don't care. Take your time. I'm already gone by the time you get to where I am, and I'm moving the puck out, and you're going to be stuck behind. They don't seem grittier. They don't seem tougher. They don't have secondary scoring, and they're clearly not better defensively. And the goaltending has had some really nice moments. Samsonov was good. Wall has had some good moments, but they've also had their downs and lulls. It's not a team that's built on a goaltender identity. It's the core 4. And those 4 guys have been great. And the irony of this group, if these 4 guys finally put it together for a complete season, and then the rest of the team around them is just the worst they've ever had.
Yeah. You're talking about the separate thing with the mercenaries. Borny's been talking about this all week on our show, and it really does feel like it's 2 separate teams. It feels like it's, the core 4 plus Riley, I guess, and those are the only guys that are really signed long term. I guess Kampf and Yarncroc are here past whatever, but I don't think they're definitely in the club. But it's just like
Kampf isn't supposed to score goals, and I actually think Yarncroc's been good.
Yeah, but it's the core 4, and then it's everybody else. And it's all these guys that are coming in here to cash in on playing in Toronto, like looking ahead to when the Caps going up with Bertuzzi and not wanting to lock into a long-term contract. Domi coming here, hopefully looking for a home, and he's on his 10th team in the last 2 years or whatever. Like, he's coming in here like it's going to be his final resting place, and he's going to be a Leaf for the rest of his career. It just really has always felt like the mercenary thing. And how is it? Like, if you're a guy that's playing in the outside of those guys, how do you not feel it? How do you not look at those guys when they're playing by far the most? They don't really have any accountability. Those guys never get benched. They can just basically do whatever they want. They play the whole 2-minute power play, basically. Like, everything is geared towards them. And I don't know how that mercenary thing doesn't set in. It's human nature. It's impossible for that to not be that way. I don't know how, and it just feels this year even worse than it ever has, because the mercenaries are higher paid this year. Like the Domies and the Bertuzzi's and the Klingbergs they're all higher paid. So there's more pressure inherently with getting more money. And it's still like we're gone after next year thing. It's just a really weird mix this year that really hasn't worked.
Can I tell you something though? And this is the part, this will be an unpopular take. This one will get lit up in the chat. But actually where I put some of the blame on the star players, right, is that they're always looking for the accountability quotient from the other guys on the team, right? It's always bring in Ryan O'Reilly. He's going to be the team dad. Bring in Jake Muzzin. He's going to be the team leader, right? And to me, again, as an outsider, but when they brought in Reeves, right, what did he say? Oh, we heard the room is quiet there, right?
Yeah.
He openly is able to say that about this leadership core. I've always said that it needs to be the Matthews and the Marners. And I don't think it's ever going to be the Nylanders. And Tavares can do it, but it just doesn't feel like his voice maybe resonates with these guys the same way. It's always felt like it's got to be Matthews and Marner that start to hold these guys more accountable, that they're the ones with the quotes, right? You know, when McDavid has a really, like the Oilers are in a tailspin right now. Terrible. And you know that McDavid is going to say something, right? McDavid's a vocal leader. I've always said that it needs to be the Matthews and the Marners. And I don't think it's ever going to be the Nylanders. And Tavares can do it, but it just doesn't feel like his voice maybe resonates with these guys the same way. It's always felt like it's got to be Matthews and Marner that start to hold these guys more accountable, that they're the ones with the quotes, right? You know, when McDavid has a really, like the Oilers are in a tailspin right now. Terrible. And you know that McDavid is going to say something, right? McDavid's a vocal leader. He's going to address his disappointment with the team. Tonight, he talked about death by a million cuts with the Oilers, just basically pointing the blame at everybody on the team. What I never get the sense that Matthews and Marner are those guys. It feels like they want to lead on the score sheet, which is great, but the other stuff, it's never really felt like it's there. And I've always thought it has to be one of them that pulls someone aside and says, this is what we need from you, Bert. Like, this is what we need from you. It can't just always be Sheldon Keefe, because he's been doing a dance forever. And outside of him getting to cut Jimmy Vesey, who he couldn't stand, I don't know how many guys the message is through to. Again, this is a team where they were called out publicly. I thought that they were going to come out with their hair on fire tonight. Yeah. And it's example 1,966 of, you think the Leafs are going to have real jump. They play a team that has played 3 games in 4 nights, and they were just willing to, I call it the chameleon team. They were like, what, how are you going to play the game tonight, Buffalo? Oh, you're going to kind of coast for the first period and a half?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to play some catch up. Okay, cool. We'll play that game. It's what I'm talking about with the identity and the forcefulness with this group is, they're too far down the line to have it this way all the time. And so, yeah, it's a new group. They get time to coalesce. We'll probably have a different narrative come, February, but
hope so.
I would say that there's some pretty big warning signs here, brother. Like it's not sunshines and rainbows to start this season.
Yeah. You talk about them getting called out in the media. If you have to have a team meeting about how to respond to somebody dirtily hitting one of your players into the boards, you're probably not going to win a whole lot. Like, if you have to have a meeting, pardon?
Gotta have after not fighting, you might be a chicken.
Yeah, that's like why are we talking? Like, you just, if a guy goes in the boards, you just jump him. That's what happens. That's hockey. That's, if you have to have a team meeting about it, it's probably not a good sign. So, yeah, like watching tonight, you really felt like it was going to be one of the nights where there's like, well, Matthews put on his cape, like you said, and they're going to find a way to win this game, and they just don't, right? And then if this keeps happening, is it? I don't know. Like too early.
Let me just ask you something.
No, no. I don't want to. I don't know if I want to go where I was thinking about going. But continue.
So then don't. I'll ask you. Can you remember a shift from any forward outside of the top 6 tonight where you went, that was a nice moment? Because I have one, and it was Domi sliding to make that save at the very end of the game. That's the only moment that I have from the other forwards in this one where I thought, wow, really good game, a really good night. Like, did you see anything from Nyes tonight where you said, man, that was a good shift? You see Domi have a good shift? Like, anybody? Was there one moment where you thought?
I actually thought that the fourth line had a couple like positive moments in the first period, and I was like, oh man, like they actually look half decent tonight. And then the third period and second period happened where it was not as good. But I like Gregor again. You did the Gregor flew up the ice a couple times. The Gregor is red hot recently, where he just flies up the ice and he pounds one off the end glass or hits one straight into the pillows of the goalie. But he's flying out there. There's a couple times where I've noticed him. So he really is new Grabner, new McCabe.
He plays 8 minutes a night. He better fly, and there's no accountability for him to ever score because he's not a finisher. He's got a pretty simple job. Everybody likes Gregor, but ultimately, like, what is it you say you do here?
Yeah. And I really can't think of one moment outside any of that stuff that I like to play. I guess Bertuzzi's not a bottom six guy, but he's been playing in the bottom six. I like to play where he's with Tavares and Tavares is fighting for the puck and he kind of gets knocked off of it. And Bertuzzi goes flying in there and smashes the guy into the boards and takes the puck off him, takes it towards the net. I'm like, I watched Tyler Bertuzzi play hockey for his whole career. When the Leafs played the Red Wings, I hated going up against that guy because he was so effective and he was all over the place and he was in everyone's face and in the goalie's face and he's flying around. And you just haven't seen it. And I don't know what it is. Is he fighting it because he does the coach doesn't like him right now and he's fighting confidence issues or whatever? But like, they got to pull out of this. He is a guy who's is he the highest paid forward outside of the core four? He's got to be, right? So it's they need 20 to 30 goals out of him for this to work. And how many does he have? 2? It's just, he's got to find a way to get it going here.
I thought he was better tonight. I didn't think that he was forceful. And to your point, it was like, I think he's been so bad that just seeing him do some of the little things tonight, play a little bit harder. You better
go out there and fly around after being grilled by Toronto for 3 days. Like you better have a bee in your bonnet.
Buddy, he's been now one of the bigger stories for this team. I told you I didn't, in a text, I wasn't doing the show, but I really didn't like him smiling at Marchand on the bench when Reeves was talking. I know you think it was just him reacting in a way.
I've smiled sarcastically at idiots on the ice a million times in my life. So like, I can't really sit here and say that like I didn't love what he said this morning, but when you have a bunch of media guys that you see every day surrounding you, asking you about something that happened 3 days ago, basically calling you out for doing something, you're probably not going to have the best response. Didn't necessarily love what he said, but I didn't think it was as big a deal as everybody else did, but like, I want this to work because I want to like this guy, but it's been pretty hard. Like
buddy, everybody wants players. Yeah. This is the misnomer with some people is that it's just like, oh, Toronto media jumping down guys' throats 10 games in. It's like, yeah, man, there's expectations here. That's what it comes with. And if you sign the mercenary deal, right, it's supposed to be under the guise of you're going to play your ass off and you're going to earn a big contract because you cashed in after the 1 year. And I know that, Bertuzzi, 2 goals and assists so far this season. You mentioned that he got a contract offer from the Bruins that he turned down and he wanted next year. He keeps playing this way. He's going to be NHL Dennis Schroeder, where it's you turn down the $70 million contract or whatever.
Or Klingberg.
You're getting the nothing. Yeah, exactly. Or Klingberg. Klingberg should be telling him actually, hey man, I've lived your life. You should have taken the deal. If you were going to play this way, you should be taking the deal.
Man,
I don't know, man. I don't like. I usually hate judging some guys individually for compete or heart guts or whatever because I just think it's a little tough sometimes when I'm sitting there on the couch with a Dorito stain on my shirt.
Crushed half a wheel tonight sitting there with my shirt off. It's tough for you to sit there and be like, this guy not trying.
You guys don't even try. Poor Gio again. Gio just grinding out there, giving it his all. I'm not seeing the fiery passion that Bertuzzi's supposed to be bringing. And like, I'll just say it. Makes me miss Bunting. At least Bunting invoked emotion, right? At least Bunting was getting under guys' skin and pissing players off and causing them to take penalties. So far, I know you didn't like Bunting. I'm just saying that right now, what did Bunting end up getting? 4?
Yeah, I think like 4.75 for 4, maybe.
Yeah, all I'm saying is give me Bunting and what he brought over what Bertuzzi has given the Leafs so far at more money. It's no-brainer.
Having literally one of the best contracts in the league on your top line, it's pretty easy to be like, give me that.
I'm saying give me the 4.5 over the 5.5 Bertuzzi.
Yeah, he has 8 points in 11 games so far this year in the Carolina Hurricanes. 3 goals, 5 assists. So he's having a pretty good start to his year.
And the Canes kind of stink.
Yeah, they're surprisingly bad, which is like there's everyone's favorite. All the analytics guys love them. But yeah, they've had a tough start.
Either way, I like we're kind of going in circles so we can move on, but
yeah.
I'm not seeing the snot. I'm not seeing the secondary scoring. I'm not seeing the attention to detail. I'm not seeing the buy-in from the players. I'm just seeing Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and Mitch Marner and John Tavares playing really well. And again, I think Yarncroc has fit well in the top line. Yep. Really liked his play tonight. The pass that he made to break out Marner for the breakaway goal. Good play by Riley on that too, by the way, just sneakily. It was just very patient. He gets the puck. Like he intercepts it, but then it's just a nice, calm, easy play. Boom, boom. They get that goal, and you think, oh, okay, good. Leafs are going to be off and running, and they're going to dominate this team. Sabres are going to want to go to sleep. Sabres, they love beating the Leafs. They come into Toronto now routinely and beat this team, and they're without Dylan Cousins. They're using their backup goalie. They're on a back-to-back. It's 3 and 4 nights, and they still outshoot Toronto. They still outplay to Toronto. I thought, looked like the better team for the vast majority of the night. Yeah, good for them. They're just a gutsy team that gets up for this game.
Yeah, they just have guys, like, they're not yet. I don't think they're ready yet. I still think they may stink a little bit. Like, I don't know if they're yet going to be in the playoffs yet. But their guys are just grittier, man. And that's what it comes down to, right? It's just, you look at the core four of the Leafs, and it's just the same conversation. And we've had it a million times. But it's just like the team takes on the personality, always has, always will, for as long as they're here. So we can move on.
Well, I think that, to me, the moment of the game was the start of the second period. Is just Toronto comes out and they have a power play to start it, and the power play is lethargic. It's nothing. They give up the shorty, and then right after, it's 2 lazy penalties that are taken by both Kampf and Marner. Somehow they kill that 5-on-3. They get away from it, and the game doesn't. Toronto never lets the game get away from them. But this is it where you have an opportunity to step on the neck of a team that is probably ready to say, okay, we've got the excuse built in here. We fall down 2 goals. We've got the excuse to dog it a little bit here. We're gassed. We're tired. Our coach isn't going to put us through bag skate after a bad loss in a road rink after our third game in 4 nights. Just give them a reason. And Toronto just let them hang around in this game. And I thought that the second period was flat out embarrassing. Where was the energy? Where was the tempo? Where was the anything? Like, what the hell is that? That is just god awful.
Can someone just run someone through the boards in one of these moments?
One time?
And when somebody, like when you're playing like this and you're quiet, isn't that when Reeves is supposed to jump on the ice and smoke somebody or get their gloves or go to the goal?
Anyone.
But you can run into somebody after the whistle. You can go to the front of the net and scrum it up a little bit and punch somebody. Like, you can still do things that get the people a little bit excited. Like, the play does stop when he's out there at some points. It does. He just never does anything. Like, it's the complete opposite experience here. He was, like I said, he was dash 2 in 9 minutes tonight. Why is he on the ice in a tie game with 7 minutes left in the third period? Why is he on the ice?
On the ice right after you score a goal?
Like,